opening one.
It takes a certain level of skill to be able to build a device like this and then deploy it without having it explode in the process.
Austin Police Chief Brian Manley urging people to call the cops if they get a package they were not expecting. Fox News, fair and balanced.
32 degrees this morning. Cloudy skies and northwest winds at 7 miles an hour. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott on AM 560. The Answer. A Vernon Hills high school soccer coach is out of a job following allegations of engaging in sex acts with several students. The High School District 128 board voted last night to approve the firing of Corey Beard. The 28-year-old woman was charged with 12 counts of criminal sexual assault. Her parent contacted a school employee last week. Police say there could be more victims. Charges are pending after a CTA bus was struck by another vehicle on Chicago's far south side. Both drivers are hospitalized in stable condition. Investigators believe the man driving the vehicle that hit the bus was speeding and may have been drunk at the time of the crash. Chicago man could spend the rest of his days behind bars for the 2015 murders of two nephews of an Illinois state senator. Deontay Logan was sentenced to life yesterday, convicted in December of murdering John Hunter and Willie Lee Hunter. They were the nephews of State Senator Matty Hunter. Illinois once again at the top of the list, top of the list of the bottom of the states in the country. U.S. News and World Report last week came out with its list of the most and least financially stable states in the country. Illinois leads the worst list. The report looked at pension debt, balanced budgets, cash flow, and the state's credit rating. A four-time felon is pleading not guilty to a 56-count indictment that charges him with the killing of Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer. Shomari Leggett entered that plea yesterday at the Layton Criminal Courts building. He's accused of shooting the 31-year veteran officer last month in a stairwell just outside of the Thompson Center. Leggett is being held without bail at the Kankakee County Jail. Also in that case, don't expect to hear a lot more about the murder of that Chicago police commander, at least from the attorneys in that case. The judge has issued a so-called gag order urging both sides not to share evidence in the case with reporters. Mayor Emanuel is scheduled to testify later this month in a wrongful death lawsuit brought by the families of Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones. Jones and LeGrier were shot and killed by Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo in 2015. The mayor has set aside 3 hours on March 29th to be deposed. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson will offer a sworn deposition on Thursday. Illinois' new plan to pay hospitals in the state based on the number of people they treat is not set in stone in spite of the governor's signature. Here's why. Governor Bruce Rauner yesterday signed Illinois' new Medicaid assessment. The big change is dollars will now follow patients, but now federal Medicaid managers have to okay the changes. That could take months. A judge Monday urged federal law enforcement across the country to stop conducting stings in which undercover agents talk suspects into agreeing to steal non-existent drugs from non-existent stash houses, saying they overwhelmingly target blacks. In Springfield, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is being clear about just one piece of the gun control push at the Illinois Capitol, telling reporters he'll sign into law a ban on bump stocks. Illinois State Police continuing their investigation into the shooting of an Elgin woman by a veteran Elgin police officer during a traffic stop early yesterday. AM 560's David Stewart has breaking details on this developing story.
The officers involved in the stop of DeCynthia Clemens were wearing body cameras, but the video of the incident hasn't been made public. Officers say that she refused to get out of her SUV when she was pulled over on I-90 after an earlier encounter with police. She then reportedly pulled a knife at some point during the hour-long negotiation that followed. Police then reportedly noticed the interior of the SUV was on fire, and as they pulled her out, she was shot and died later at a hospital. The officer involved is a lieutenant with 19 years on the force. He's on paid leave. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Some students around Chicagoland will be walking out of class tomorrow as part of a nationwide effort aimed at preventing school shootings. The kids plan to step outside in the mid-morning for 17 minutes. Some teachers will join them as well. A few of those students will be calling on Congress to pass tighter gun control laws. Chicago sports, well, the Bears apparently are getting some help for second-year quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Former Jaguars wide receiver Allen Robinson plans to sign with Chicago when the new league year opens up on Wednesday. Robinson was quite a story 2 years ago with 14 touchdowns. He suffered a torn ACL in Jacksonville's first game this past season. Cubs had an off day yesterday. They have split squad action today. Sox double up the Mariners 4-2 last night. They're off today. Bulls welcome the Clippers to the United Center tonight. The news is a service of Power Crunch Bars. Power Crunch is giving you a chance to win a tropical paradise. Vacation to Hawaii? Visit the Power Crunch display at your local Jewel-Osco for your chance to win and to stock up on your favorite Power Crunch bars. Power Crunch, light, healthy, delicious. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. It's Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by AM Woodland Outdoor Design.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
5:10 and a check of your morning roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center for us, here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. That East Coast weather is again causing some travel issues at O'Hare and at Midway. We've got cancellations, about 50, actually 52 right now at O'Hare, 19 at Midway. Keep an eye on those flight boards. While in South Barrington, southbound 59 is blocked at Penny. There's a stopped train there. There's also a track inspection going on. This may take a little while. 59 again blocked at Penny at the tracks there. There was some overnight work. 390 eastbound at 290. That exit ramp has reopened, so you can now go from the eastbound 390 tollway onto southbound 53 and the inbound Eisenhower. The other expressways and tollways look good at this time. And traffic is a service of Indeed.com. Indeed used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions Sort, view, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and breezy. A morning flurry followed by an afternoon snow shower. High today, 36. A mainly clear and cold night, low 22. Partly sunny and milder tomorrow, high 47 and a low 29. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. And baby, I love you.
Yeah, this is Dan and Amy. We are, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hi. Don't forget the pleasantries. How are you?
We are coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in scenic Aurora.
Yeah. Took forever to get here.
Well, no, it's not that bad.
I feel like I'm in a suburb of Iowa. Yes.
Honest One Auto Care. This is part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, of course. Honest One Auto Care, Amy.
Yes. Dan.
Founded in Scottsdale, Arizona in 2003.
Nice.
This is the first franchise in Illinois. This franchise in Aurora here. And it's female-owned and operated.
Really?
And
do they have a calendar out, too?
The market, oh, that's so sexist.
What? Come
I mean,
on.
honestly.
I know.
You're a Neanderthal. I mean, I don't know why you hate women. Thankfully, I'm here to represent the feminist perspective. So their angle of incidence is to cater to women customers, to essentially Honest One, to make sure they know they're being dealt with honestly. Nobody's taking advantage of them. Mechanics are taking advantage of them. And to just have a much more pleasant auto body care experience than you might normally get.
You know what? I should have known, because when I stepped in here, I immediately felt...
It smelled like potpourri.
No, it felt like there was a woman's influence in here when it came to the washrooms, and then there's a child care area where your kids could stay, where you're, when you're getting your car done or waiting for your car to be done. And you know what else, Dan? I took a peek inside the garage, and it's so clean that you could eat off the floor. That's why I knew a woman owned this place. So we're going to be interviewing them at 7:37 today and find out why they moved from Scottsdale, which is a much more friendly...
No, not moved. It's franchise.
Franchise. Oh, okay.
This is the first franchise, in Illinois here in Aurora. Yeah, right off Eola Road.
Yeah.
It's easy
near
access.
Wabansia Valley High School. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Wabansia Valley.
Wabansia High School.
Wabansie.
Wabansie.
Not Wabansia. You're thinking of that street in Chicago where you live.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We're in the suburbs now.
Okay.
All right. So this video surfaced yesterday. This is Hillary Clinton. Hill Dog.
Oh, and she was in India?
Yeah, she was at the India Today conclave on Sunday. And she, and by the way...
I don't think she's getting over the election loss to you.
She's not bitter, and thank you for asking. So don't even go there, sister. She distilled the three categories of Trump voters. So listen up, and then think about which category of Trump voter you belong. People who didn't like black people getting rights, people who didn't like women getting jobs, or men who bully the women in their lives. Those are the three categories of Trump voters that are available to you. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Into which category of Trump voter do you fall, or maybe multiple?
All of the above?
We would accept all of the above or multiple answers. Here's Hillary Clinton explaining to you who you are.
The map of the United States. There's all that red in the middle where Trump won. I win the coasts. I win, Illinois and Minnesota, places like that. But what the map doesn't show you is that I won the places that represent 2/3 of America's gross domestic product. So I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward, and his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backwards. You know, you didn't like black people getting rights. You don't like women, getting jobs. You don't want to, see that Indian American succeeding more than you are. Whatever your problem is, I'm going to solve it. So it was a symptom, but it was also a cause, because having someone run for president who voices those ideas, who rejects so much of the American story and our values, was also the underlying cause as well.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Just Celestia, by the way, a good example of what she's talking about, the places she won. Dynamic, moving forward, exciting, diverse, like Illinois.
Yeah, we're really moving forward. I mean, that's even worse than calling all of us deplorables, really, because she's breaking it down exactly what's in her heart. So the fact that she apologized, after she made the deplorable comment is a joke, because that's truly how she feels.
Text from 708, all three categories she's in. The people who didn't like women getting jobs, people who didn't like black people getting rights. And then the third, she didn't really get into it there. Yeah. But thankfully, she had more time to answer questions. Oh. And so she did get into the men who bully women. That was one of the reasons she lost white women, is because white women don't have minds of their own. And so they're told what to do by the men in their lives, and that turns out to be a real problem.
Almost 52% of white women voted for him, in spite of the Billy Bush tape and so forth. How do you explain that?
Well, I should start by explaining that Democrats, going back to my husband and even before, but just in recent times, going back to Bill and our candidates and then President Obama, have been losing the white vote, including white women. We do not do well with white men, and we don't do well with married white women. And part of that is an identification with the Republican Party and a sort of ongoing pressure to vote the way that your husband, your boss, your son, whoever, believes you should.
So I will take acceptable answers for being a Trump voter is that you hate minorities, you want women barefoot and pregnant, and or just a generally speaking, you're part of an oppressive patriarchy. So, again, or a combination. Those are all acceptable answers for explaining your Trump vote, to which infirmity, bigotry, phobia, ism do you suffer from?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I'm just surprised after all this time has passed that she's still so angry.
What are you talking about?
And so bitter.
I don't know what you're talking about. She's explaining what happened in the election. She's giving a very room temperature description of what transpired. She's a scrivener of world events in which she was involved, like the 2016 election, and she's just giving a kind of a dry read on it.
Right.
Yeah,
I think this seals the deal.
Analysis.
Seals the deal that she's definitely not running in 2020. Because you cannot make comments like that and ever come back from that.
This is the Democrat Party. You don't think she could win a nomination saying that? In a field of 20 candidates? Do not dash my dreams of Hillary 2020. I'm not going to hear it.
I mean, you're still getting over Elizabeth Warren saying she's not going to run in 2020.
I want them all in. I want Hillary back. And, I think that she's, with that interview, displayed the kind of stick-to-itiveness that you need in politics. And I think she's center cut for where the 21st century Democrat Party is in terms of their thinking. Because we know one thing's for sure.
What?
Hillary Clinton doesn't lose on the merits. Because on the merits, she is impeccable. There's no integrity issues. There are no character flaws. This is a woman basically without a flaw. This is our generation's Joan of Arc. So it cannot be substantive. It has to be a reflection of our narrow, small-minded thinking. And I appreciate her for pointing it out because I'm going to try and be better. You know why?
Why?
Because in 2020, I'm with her. Dan and Amy coming to you from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, why aren't they calling it a hate crime, the bomb explosions in Austin? But first, here's your forecast today. Some lake effect snow, anywhere from a dusting to an inch, especially if you live in northwest Indiana. It's going to be blustery and cold out there, windy, a high of just 36 degrees tonight, a low of 22, and tomorrow partly sunny, not as cold. Back to the average temperatures for this time of year, a high of 44 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Got more than 70 flight cancellations at Chicago's airports this morning. Most of those at O'Hare, and most of those are due to weather on the East Coast. South Barrington, 59 is blocked southbound at Penny. There's a stopped train there. There's also some rail track inspection going on. Now seeing mild delays on the inbound Rod and the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway. No more than a 1 or 2 minute delay in either case. The other expressways are looking good at this hour. There is on the outbound Ride roadwork again. 87th split, 3 left lanes. Still always good. Northwest Indiana, wide open. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Abilify, Wellbutrin, Seroquel, Rexulti. These drugs are commonly prescribed for depression treatment. 2018 can be the year you win the war on depression.
New year, new you.
Drugs for depression can be dangerous, have side effects, and really just mask the problem. TMS therapy treats the source of your depression. Cure or remission is here. HBR centers are proud to bring TMS therapy to Chicagoland and Milwaukee. Millions have been treated, and the results are outstanding.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive.
How does it work? TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate mood centers, causing long-term medication-free relief. It's FDA cleared and covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. Make the call, ask questions, bring an end to your depression. HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. We'll talk to the proprietor of this establishment at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. She's a woman.
Don't you know?
Who owns this auto care shop? How about that?
I love it.
We were talking about Hillary getting ready for her run in 2020 and being properly chastised for voting for Trump, or not chastised, categorized.
Right.
Chastise implies a negative connotation. All Hillary was doing was explaining that in order to vote for Trump, you either have to be cowed by the men in your life, don't believe black people should have rights,
yeah,
and don't believe women should have jobs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
First of all, I am not. I didn't vote for her, and I'm in none of those categories. I'm just an American that happens to love the country but doesn't like the government. But my question I have is, what was her speaking fee for this engagement in wherever she was at? Was it when she was able to sell influence? Was it that high, or is it just like a normal speaking fee?
Yeah, I think
hope
it's
you guys
priced.
have the answer, and I'll listen. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ed. I don't know that her fee was disclosed. I didn't see it, but I think it's priced to sell these days. I think it's bargain basement.
Well, it's got to be at least 6 figures. I mean, it has to be. When she spoke at Cisco Meraki conference, I think they paid her $225,000.
Well, that's
about
down
a half
from
hour.
$750,000.
Yeah,
That's down significantly. She's coming back to earth. Probably could do weddings, bar mitzvahs, kids' birthday parties.
Bar
I mean, you should look into it.
bar mitzvahs.
Jordan in Forest Park.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I've been telling people for the last year that Hillary's going to run again, and the reason why is pretty simple. She's not out there lambasting Trump to help another candidate, defeat Trump. Come on, this is a selfish thing, and she's doing it for herself, and she's running again. I mean, it's as simple as that. And she hasn't said anything about what she would do. It's all about what she hates about Trump. So
Thanks for the call, Jordan. It's even worse than that. It's all about the election. It's not even about what Trump has done. She's not even addressing him, generally speaking, on policy. I mean, she has from time to time. But most of these talks are about the 2016 election and what happened.
Oh, maybe she was selling copies of her book. Probably signed a few copies
Sure.
outside. People, stayed in line, waited in line to greet her and meet her.
Now, let me ask you this, Amy, from your perspective.
Yeah, from a man's perspective, yes.
Do you think it's fair for Jordan to call Hillary Clinton selfish? Is that fairly describe the Hillary Clinton you know?
That's true, and she's a little delusional. But still, when you're angry, you can't see the full picture. You get so caught up in the negative feelings that you have that you're angry. You do things out of character.
Yeah, and I think that
and
pantsuit-
slamming Republicans. Well, she wasn't wearing a pantsuit. She was wearing almost a sari, like the Indian sari.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think that pantsuits were getting a little tight,
Uh-huh.
and now that she can't wear it, and that makes her upset.
She doesn't look like she's gained any weight. She should take Calitrin, though. Coming up on
No question she should.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk about those terrible bombings in Austin, Texas, and what police know at this juncture at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
30 degrees in Chicago. At 5:31, a closely watched congressional election is happening in Pennsylvania today. Donald Trump won the Pittsburgh area district by a wide margin. In the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump Jr. insinuated last night that The Democrat running in that race is pretending to be a conservative.
That's what we need. We don't need people who are pretending to be conservative that will then go follow the Manchins and the testers and vote with Nancy Pelosi and vote with Chuck Schumer like you see.
The president campaigned for Rick Saccone Saturday night. Donald Trump Jr. did the same yesterday along with Vice President Mike Pence. Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee say their investigation has not discovered any collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign during the 2016 presidential election. Texas Congressman Mike Conaway saying the committee's Republican majority issuing a 150-page report for Democrats on the committee to review. We're watching another winter storm develop along the East Coast. Could dump on some spots up to 2 feet of snow. The third nor'easter in a matter of weeks will tie up air travel for the center section of the country along with the west. More Oklahoma school districts are showing support for a possible teacher strike there around the entire state. The Edmond Board and Moore School Board each voted yesterday to back teachers if they stage a walkout next month. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations of engaging in sex acts with several students. The High School District 128 Board last night approved the firing of Corey Beard. The 28-year-old woman is charged with 12 counts of criminal sexual assault. Chicago sports. Bears apparently getting a little help for second-year quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. They're about to sign Jaguars free agent wide receiver Allen Robinson, who had a breakout year 2 years ago, but last season suffered a torn ACL in the first game of the season. Cubs had yesterday off. They have split squad action today. White Sox doubled up the Mariners last night. They're off today. The news service of Al Piemonte Ford. Stop before you buy your new car. You must visit Al Piemonte Ford now. Truckloads of new cars and trucks have just arrived. Everything priced to sell quickly. Al Piemonte Ford is at 25th and North Avenue, just around the corner in Melrose Park. 5:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes we're living in crazy times.
Senator Chuck Schumer of New York doesn't like the president's recent judicial appointment because he's white. Honest to goodness.
We are so crazily down the rabbit hole.
I just hope and pray for my country that we will somehow, someday, come back to some sense of normalcy and reality and common sense.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Stop by a Subway restaurant for the new double meat signature wraps for just $6.99 each. Prices may vary. Additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
5:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And South Barrington 59 has reopened at Penny. There was a stopped train in that area and some apparent damage to the train tracks, but now the road is open. 59 is in both directions. Calumet Park crash reported, 127th and Ashland. Due to weather on the East Coast mainly, we have flight cancellations this morning. 55 now at O'Hare. 20 canceled flights at Midway. The Eden's okay. The Kennedy as well. No delays yet on the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson got a 2-minute slowdown central to Pulaski. Inbound Ryan, 3-minute delay, Canal Port to Burn Circle. Bishop Ford heavy starting at 115th, 22 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Traffic service of Shell. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell, the Fuel Rewards program. Start saving on your very first fill and continue to save on every fill every day. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join and save 5 cents a gallon today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny, breezy, colder. We'll have morning flurries, then a snow shower later in the day, high 36. Clear and cold, low 22. Partly sunny and mild, 47 tomorrow. Currently, we have 30 at O'Hare and 32 along Chicago's lakefront, 28 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank business tour, and we'll be talking to the proprietor of Honest One, which is a rather interesting franchise concept at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. But, Amy, this disturbing and tragic series of bombings in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, apparently this started on March 2nd. There was a 39-year-old African-American man, because everybody seems to be leaving that out, Anthony Stephen House. He was killed when a package containing an explosive detonated at his home. But at the time, police weren't sure. They called his death accidental, but now it's being investigated as a homicide. Then take what happened yesterday. There was one explosion early in the morning. A 17-year-old boy around 6:44 a.m. was on his way to school, opened the front door, saw a package on the porch, brought it to his kitchen table, opened it up where it exploded right away. He died, and his mother was severely injured. African-American, 17-year-old kid. Then later on the same day yesterday, around 11:50 in the afternoon, a 75-year-old Hispanic woman found a package, picked it up on her front porch, and it exploded right then and there. So I don't understand why they're not calling this a hate crime right now.
Every crime is a hate crime.
But African Americans and minorities are being targeted. Here's the police chief on yesterday's activities.
The bomber is very specific. They know how to make the triggering mechanism. They know how to kill. This is a bomber who knows how to kill.
Actually, that was Jim Kavanaugh, who's an NBC analyst. Here is Chief Brian Manley.
If the package that is delivered to your doorstep looks suspicious in any way, call 911.
And they're saying, now that they possibly are related, but again, they're still not calling it a hate crime.
Every crime's a hate crime. That parlance is the province of the left. I'm going to discard that statement. But in terms of whether or not there are minorities being targeted, they don't know. They're trying to assess the motive. The stepfather of a man who died in a package explosion in Austin earlier in March knew the grandfather of one of the victims in Monday's first bombing.
Oh.
So that's what...
Yeah, but if they're targeting African Americans, shouldn't they do an all-call like, hey, African Americans, minorities, watch out, you in particular, not just everybody in the community, that you guys are being targeted. I just think it's irresponsible for the Austin Police Department not to just call it what it is and just to come out and say it. And every news report, I didn't know that the 17-year-old kid was African American or the guy who died on March 2nd was African American. You had to dig for the information. Why don't they just say who the victims are? It's like, when an African American suspect does something, they just say, oh, the man is 5'9", and they don't describe him as African American.
Well, what I'm suggesting is that the police are exercising restraint because they don't know what the motive is yet. So to say that, to ascribe a motive that they're not confident is the motive would be irresponsible. That would be irresponsible. Why wouldn't you just wait until the police can assess the evidence and gather more? Austin police say they had received 34 suspicious package calls since yesterday morning. So, they have a lot of work on their hands now, and you want to be proactive, but you don't want to create hysteria. You know, there's a Unabomber. Why don't we just say it's a Unabomber 2?
Well, they are saying it's a serial bomber.
Yes, but you have bits and pieces of information that I'm sure investigators, along with the FBI, are trying to stitch together so that you make the right call, not just make a call.
They do know that the two families that were the two African-American families, they're not related, but their family members are well known in the African-American community as community organizers. So I don't know, maybe that's a reason why they're being targeted.
Well, I don't know.
But it's pretty scary stuff. So one thing these packages have in common, they did not come from the United States Postal Service. They did not come from UPS. They did not come from FedEx or Amazon. There's no postage stamps on these white packages.
Well, you heard the police talk about the sophistication of the explosive devices, and so this is somebody who knows what they're doing and knows who they're trying to do it to, and that is disturbing. And and again, police now are taking a holistic view of this and connecting dots back to an earlier bombing this month and trying to piece this together. So I mean, let's give them some bandwidth to make the right call.
But it's surprising with all these, home security systems that people have, that they don't have video of somebody dropping off these packages on the porch. You know what I mean? Because it's, I don't know. I just think
not everybody obviously has video surveillance of their front porch. Not
No.
everybody can afford it. Not everybody wants it, even if they could. I mean, and perhaps the bomber is sussing out exactly those sorts of things. I don't know. It's a fair question, I guess. Or maybe there is some surveillance, even surveillance that's not in the house, but in a business nearby that the police haven't disclosed, but they can't make out the individual. I'm sure as soon as they get a profile on this guy, they're going to release it. But remember the Unabomber case. The first profile they got was wrong.
Oh, right.
That famous iconic picture that was
with the hoodie.
It was wrong. It was the wrong
Ted
guy.
Kaczynski. Yeah.
It was the wrong guy.
Right. Yeah.
So this is why you want law enforcement to measure twice and cut once when it comes to saying this is what's happening, this is what the motive is, this is the guy we want.
Well, look at Eric Jewell. Remember?
Yeah,
they
that's another
thought
one.
That he
Richard
was,
Jewell.
Richard Jewell, excuse me. They thought that he was the Olympic bomber, and he wasn't.
You're thinking of Eric because Eric Thomas is here, and he looks like Richard Jewell.
Oh, yeah, right. They're twins. Uh-huh. Brothers from another mother, but yeah.
Richard and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
So, good morning, guys. And our good friend Amy wants to call this a hate crime without even knowing the race of the perpetrator. Fantastic. Way to jump to judgment, Amy.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I think
I don't know about the following week, but I'll be here next week.
I don't think he was honestly thanking you.
I know. Really? You don't?
No.
My whole point of contention is that I don't, when there's victims and they're of a certain if they're African American, why not just say that we have a 17-year-old African American who was horribly, horribly, tragically killed this morning, and his mother was injured, or say that the 39-year-old who died March 2nd was African American. They just didn't come out and say that. So
I see it in the Austin Statesman. I see it in.
Right, but your mainstream media, CNN, Fox, nobody mentioned it.
I see it in the CBS Local. I see it in the Star Telegram. I mean, I don't.
Well, yeah, but yesterday they didn't disclose that.
All right. Well,
we'll said a 17-year-old.
We'll stay on this story as details become available, and we'll pass them along to you and do our best to analyze them fairly, because that's what we do on this program.
Because apparently I'm not doing that.
Well, we'll help you along on that score. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up, could it really be over? The House Intelligence Committee's investigation into alleged Russian collusion. But first, here is your forecast. Pretty nasty day out there. Not a good one. Not a lot of sunshine. Some lake effect snow possible, anywhere from a dusting to an inch. And it's going to be windy. Highs only in the mid-30s. Tonight into the 20s we go, the low 20s. And then tomorrow partly sunny. A little bit more better news, a high of 44 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Eisenhower inbound. A little heavy now, 17th Avenue to Harlem. It's 31 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. The exit from eastbound 390 to inbound 290, that's all reopened after some overnight work. Hayden's to Kennedy, just fine. Inbound Stevenson, so Harlem to Pulaski. 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. On Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 25 minutes now, 8094 to merge. No problems to report on the tollways from northwest Indiana. With a crash reported in Calumet Park, 127th and Ashland. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews and our Against the Current series. This week featuring Eli Steele, the great documentarian, talking about his film, How Jack Became Black. You've heard him on our show as well. And talking racial politics. It's a really good discussion. He's a very interesting, thoughtful guy. So you want to check that out. As well as 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at the Illinois Opportunity Project about bad actors in public policy. Our series, Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Get a free property tax report on your home. See what the highest property taxes are doing to your home value. Not good. As well as we've got updated new regional reports on home sale median prices for home sales in the Chicago metropolitan area. So you take a look at those as well. All the property tax and home price info at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Blue Star medicated ointment works fast to relieve the pain and itch of almost any skin irritation.
It's amazing. It's like as soon as you put it on, you can feel it working.
We've had Blue Star in the family for years. It works on everything.
I love the cooling sensation on my athlete's foot.
What a relief for my eczema.
Nothing worked on my dry, cracked skin until I tried Blue Star.
Blue Star is great for scalp itch.
Look for the white box with the Blue Star in the first aid section. Feel Blue Star work fast, or your money back.
Message and data rates may apply.
Where are my glasses?
You're late.
The clock says 7.
Are you blind? It's nearly 8.
Oh, no. Can't find my glasses. Found them.
Time to finally get LASIK. If you can see your phone and send a text right now, you could get LASIK for far less than you might think. The LASIK Vision Institute is offering absolutely free evaluations and dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK. Simply text VIEW to 350-350. You'll enjoy the benefit of FDA-approved LASIK technology that gives the majority of patients 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. You'll also get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services when you text VIEW to 350-350. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Today, it's your turn. Don't miss out. This great offer is just one text away. Text VIEW to 350-350.
I don't want to get up. I gotta give the annual report at the meeting today. It's probably gonna be the same old soggy lunch, too.
Sweetie, didn't you say they were having tasty catering at the meeting today?
Oh yeah. I'm up.
Yeah, thought so.
Created by their chefs, perfected in their kitchens, Tasty Catering's corporate menu has meeting goers, power brunchers, and conference attendees thinking twice about showing up late and leaving early. Tasty Catering's executive continental breakfast, wraps, sandwiches, and entree selections are powering your workplace for more than productivity. Taste and experience the difference. Call Tasty Catering today to find out how easy it is to start planning your next corporate meeting or event. Let them help you create the perfect menu. Deliver everything you need, tables, plates, utensils, and more, then come back when you're finished to clean it all up. Tasty Catering, the team to call for your corporate catering. Visit tastycatering.com to see for yourself. Discover the online menu today at tastycatering.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, question for you. Would you pay $19,000 for a kidney transplant to save your 17-year-old cat?
Oh, I thought you were
312-642-5600 Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA Turnkey.pro text line.
I honestly thought you were going to say to save your 17-year-old son or your 17-year-old daughter, but your 17-year-old cat?
Nobody would pay that kind of money to save a teenager.
Um,
We're talking about cats here.
What's the cat's name? I need to know some details. Is it long hair, tabby? Is it?
Well, first of all, we know that you wouldn't because your cat got a hangnail and you Duterte that feline.
Stop. My cat had cancer, self-diagnosed cancer, but it was.
So your
Kit
cat
Kat.
diagnosed that he had cancer, or
No,
you diagnosed it?
She had open sores everywhere, and then she got a little bit better, and then she just couldn't walk and couldn't make it to the litter.
Did you ever think about taking her to a vet?
I did, and they said we can run a battery of tests, but it will cost $3,000, and then after that, we're not even sure how long she'll live.
Well,
so I decided, you know what? She looks miserable. I'm miserable. There's cat urine all over the furniture. It's no way to live. It's a health issue, really. So then I took her, and she didn't go down easy, and I still feel bad about that.
Well,
don't, Justin.
Well, wait a second. Wait a second.
actual cat.
If Kit Kat felt it was miserable and you were miserable, why did it have to be Kit Kat? Since you were both miserable, how'd you make that choice?
Because I cost more money to put down. She was $199.
$3,000.
$199.
$3,000, and Jacobson sends Kit Kat to the gallows. By contrast,
Am I telling? Well, let me hear about this cat.
University of Baltimore professor and her husband,
boy.
parents of two.
Cats?
2 children, plus Stanley, the 17-year-old cat.
Stanley cute?
$19,000
Wow.
to pay for a new kidney. Professor Boyd, people who have commented online, in some cases have been tacky and cruel. That's their right. But they have no regrets. They had to forego a new car, but no regrets. He purrs all the time. He begs for poultry. He wakes me up at 4 a.m. for a snack. He's happy, and we're still very good friends. And he's Stanley just celebrated his 18th birthday on Saturday.
$19,000. Pay for a year of college for that. I mean, cats don't live until. I mean, the longest I've heard a cat living is 21 years.
Well, the Boyds are hoping for 25, hoping for 30. 25 would be great.
Oh, really?
They also, listen to this,
Uh-huh.
they also adopted the 2-year-old donor cat that provided Stanley's kidney.
The donor. Oh, because each cat has 2 kidneys, just like
Right.
people.
They couldn't use a human donor, right? Because it's a cat. Yeah.
So then oh, wow.
So Stanley's happy and Kit Kat's on the ground.
That's so mean. Just remember, she didn't go down easy. It was awful. She fought the whole way, and then she looked like she wanted to gouge my eyes out. But I
Right.
had already declawed, which was not humane either. of me
Right,
to do.
because Kit Kat wanted to live. But
It was
you made
the
a different
worst.
call.
Never. If you do have to do that someday, Dan, just bring her in and say goodbye at the front door. Don't go in for the kill.
I hope you enjoy the $3,000 worth of blood money that you saved. Monster. Matt in New Munster, Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
In 2012, now she's my ex-wife, but we had gotten a dog from the Humane Society, and 3 or 4 months into it, we discovered it had stage 3 kidney disease. And so we did all we could until we hit $2,800, and then we talked about it and thought, well, time is to let the dog go. So we called for the vet for an appointment to come out to the house and put the dog down because it only had like a 6 months to 9 months life left. So I think you got to draw a line somewhere.
And that's why she's your ex-wife.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call.
See, now the service that he used, I recommend that. Have them come to your house to put your animal down because that was an added pressure and added anxiety for Kit Kat when I had to stick her in the bag, and she fought even getting in the bag. No, not the bag. I mean the carry.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
The
this
bag.
you're basically
I didn't put her in a plastic
you're
bag. I put her in
confessing
the
to a
carry.
crime on the
No,
air. I hope
put her,
you know
and
that.
then I walked her across Ashland and
look,
Irving to get to Duke's Animal Hospital.
As your counsel, please don't say anything more. Do not answer any more questions. Stop talking about this gruesome crime.
It wasn't a crime. It was from the heart. I had to do it.
Yeah, I mean, between you and
Zip it.
Matt from New Munster, I mean, the bloodlust. Are you kidding me? There was a blank check for Hayek.
Oh,
with
really?
this
So
guy.
$19,000, you would do that in a heartbeat?
$19,000 for a kidney transplant for
Yeah.
Hayek? Done.
Really?
Absolutely. I would give him my kidney.
He doesn't want your kidney.
Greg in Schaumburg.
You stole my thunder. Amy, if Hayek ever has to be put down, trust me, he will have a corresponding compromise value proposition.
Thank you for the call, Greg. I appreciate it. Listen, look, if Hayek and I are
so
both
lively.
miserable,
Yes,
it's me. I'm taking myself out. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
5:57. Just going to check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike Kennedy. Inbound. It's heavy now from the River Road toll to Canfield. You get a travel time of 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound still fine at 20. Edens is clear. Inbound Eisenhower, still Manheim to Harlem. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson delay start at Harlem. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound good at 34. Inbound Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is clear. Bishop Ford, heavy starting at 115th. 25 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Lakeshore Drive's wide open. No problems to report at the Tri-State. There is a little road work on the southbound side, LaGrange Road at 95th. It should be clearing here shortly. Other tollway's good. I-65 northbound. Got a jam from US 30 all the way to 80-94. The right lane is blocked. Got some black ice in that area. Traffic service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Account. It's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We get the update with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. A flurry for the morning, then a snow shower for the afternoon. High today, 36. Turning out to be a mainly clear and cold night tonight with a low of 22. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 30 at O'Hare, the news service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations that she engaged in sex acts with several students. Charges pending after a CTA bus was hit by a vehicle on Chicago's far south side. Illinois once again on top of the list of the bottom states in the country. Four-time felon pleads not guilty to a 56-count indictment charging him with the killing of Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is being clear about just one piece of gun control legislation at the Illinois Capitol. And the top lawyer of the federal government says former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich doesn't deserve another appeal hearing. Bulls welcome the Clippers to the UC tonight. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
The polls are just opening now in western Pennsylvania. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is a time in our country where many of our most important promises seem to be up for grabs.
Democrat Connor Lamb trying to flip a vacant seat in Congress that had been Republican red, Democrat blue. Donald Trump Jr. campaigned for GOP candidate Rick Saccone.
All this great stuff with tax reform, all the jobs, it can go like that.
Now, his father is very happy, tweeting in all caps, the House Intelligence Committee has found no evidence of collusion in the Russia probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the top Democrat on the committee, Adam Schiff, who was caught off guard by the announcement, says the decision to end the probe marks a tragic milestone for the Congress and a capitulation to the executive branch. Republican Congressman Mike Conaway says there is evidence Russia tried to interfere in the 2016 election, but
we could find no evidence of collusion between either campaign and the Russians.
Conaway says the panel has finished interviewing witnesses and will share the report with Democrats today. Democrats are expected to issue their own report with far different conclusions. months. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump will go to California today for the first time since taking office to check out the prototypes for his much-promised border wall.
He's not welcome. Trump is not welcome here.
Democratic Congressman Juan Vargas says the president battles California's sanctuary city and state policies. Defense Secretary Mattis is in Afghanistan, where U.S. troops continue to work with Afghan forces battling the Taliban, but he says that's not how we'll ultimately win there.
Not a military victory. The victory will be a political reconciliation.
People in Austin, Texas being warned don't touch any package you get you weren't expecting after 3 bombings this month.
These are not being delivered by either the U.S. Postal Service or any of the normal mail delivery services.
Police Chief Brian Manley, 2 people who opened the packages have been killed, including a teenager yesterday. Fox News, fair and balanced.
She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. It's Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by 1-800-4-BLINDS, Chicago. Blinds, shades, and shutters.
I'm having that 6:59 feeling again.
What?
You know, that mini panic attack right before the workday starts when you're sure you've forgotten something?
Nope, that's my favorite time of day. I work with Cintas, so I always know we're ready for the workday. They handle our uniforms, fire extinguishers, first aid, safety training, floor mats, and restroom supplies.
I think I need to call Cintas.
They might just make a morning person out of you.
Oh, I'm ready.
Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Know why you see logos everywhere? Because they work. They drive customers, build brands, and grow businesses. And now, putting your logo to work has never been easier because 4imprint has perfected the art of putting logos on the right promotional items for maximum impact. And because they're giving away the ultimate guide to promotional products absolutely free to everyone who texts TIME to 88988. They'll make your logo look impeccable on your choice of thousands of items with free art assistance. Everything from pens, caps, and t-shirts to hot tech. High-quality items people want to hang on to forever, keeping your brand top of mind always. With customer service that's second to none and 100% satisfaction guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Put your logo to work. Get the ultimate guide to promotional products absolutely free by texting TIME to 88988. That's TIME to 88988.
Okay, from the start.
Acerola cherry.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, banana.
Beets, bell pepper, broccoli. Blueberries, blackberries, cranberry.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Mangosteen.
Pineapple, sweet potato.
Papaya, parsley, peach.
You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
Raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on Superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black here in Dallas, Texas. Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit?
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
Our nation is deeply divided. Gone are the days when civil discourse bridged the gap between the two sides. If we'll ever find common ground, we must get beyond the talking points. AM 560, The Answer, is bringing together two of America's sharpest political minds from opposite sides of the aisle. She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. He's one of the sharpest conservative minds in Illinois. He has years of experience as a political strategist and pundit, including his own run for governor. Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by AM Woodland Outdoor Design and by 1-800-4-BLINDS Chicago. Blinds, shades, and shutters.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, Illinois.
Aurora?
Yeah.
Do you need help with words? Because I'm always here for you.
Second biggest city in Illinois.
Yeah.
Population-wise. You know.
4 different counties are covered here. You can live in Aurora and be in Will County, be in DuPage County, be in Kane County, and Kendall County.
Wow.
Just in case you need to know this.
Great Chamber of
Which
Commerce
county are we? We're in
factoids.
DuPage County here, right?
I think this is
Yeah.
DuPage.
Yes.
No. This is part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour as well. We'll talk to the proprietor at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. Interesting, this is a franchise. First franchise in Illinois is here in Aurora. And it's based in Scottsdale, Arizona, where it was founded about 15 years ago. And it's woman-owned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a business in the auto care space that really caters to women.
Oh, yeah, it sure does. I mean, when you walk in, there's a little play area for your kids. I've noticed in the women's washroom there's a koala care. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
That's a diaper changing table.
Oh.
So that's very
I don't
female
know.
friendly.
I still don't know what that
because
is.
men haven't figured this out. Women, we drive the cars all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Where a man will just drive to the train station to get to work or drive their car to work. We're in our car all day and all night, being Uber moms. So we have to take care of our cars. We have to make that part of our routine every 3,000 miles, get your oil changed. And this place is very female friendly, and I like it. And there's free snacks, free coffee, water, and the place is clean, Dan. If you looked inside the shop, you could eat off the floor. It's so clean. I've never seen an auto body shop so clean.
It smells like spring in here.
It smells like spring.
It's fantastic. So we'll talk more about that in the 7 o'clock hour. But yesterday, big announcement from the House Intelligence Committee. They have determined, according to the evidence that they've been able to cull together in their assessment of it, that there was no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia in 2016, and they're pulling up the stakes on their look into this.
Yeah, and Mike Conaway, Republican, was on Fox News.
Well, the headlines are that we've reached that point where we've interviewed all the folks we need to. We've looked at some 300,000 documents, 73 interviews that we've done across the course of the day, trying to answer the 4 questions that were originally set out for the committee to answer. Yes, the Russians tried to interfere with our election process. Yes, they had cyber attacks, active measures going on. We could find no evidence of collusion between either campaign and the Russians. And we also have some recommendations, we'll have recommendations that speak to what we do with elections going forward, how important it is for Americans to be on guard on a process that's sacred to our democracy, our representative republic, quite frankly, and that is the electing of leadership across this country.
All right, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is that good enough for you? You ready to move on from Russian collusion, or do you still want to focus, which is where Mueller is really focused and has been for some time, as our friend Andy McCarthy at National Review has been pointing out for some time? This is about obstruction. This is an impeachment investigation. It's not a Russian collusion investigation. It's about trying to get the president on obstruction. It's not about trying to get him on colluding with the Russians to do much of anything.
Well, he mentioned Robert Mueller.
We're not having anything to do whatsoever with the Mueller investigation. He's got separate tools, separate authorities, and everything else. And I hope he does a terrific job of whatever it is he's doing. But we didn't find any evidence of collusion, and I don't know that he will either.
And so the House Intel Committee realized that there's no collusion between President Trump and the Russians, and same with the Clintons and the Russians. So that should be pointed out. And they said any other questions are going to have to be answered by Robert Mueller's investigation. But I don't think that there's any there.
Well, there's been not much evidence made public to suggest any there. That's for sure.
We know those 13 Russians were indicted, but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because I don't think Putin's going to, hand them over to us.
And Adam Schiff's Area 51 conspiracy theories don't amount to much either. So we'll see, and we'll see what the react is from the Democrats on this. I mean, I'm sure they'll just defer to Mueller because that's really where the action is. But it is interesting. I mean, you can describe this as partisan all you want and roll your eyes and say, well, of course Republicans didn't find anything. But, they did talk to a lot of people. They looked at a lot of evidence. I mean, if there were things that were obviously indicative of improper activity or conspiracy, then you have a lot of politicians who aren't going to stake their career on trying to cover for Trump. Let me guarantee you that. So I wouldn't just dismiss this out of hand because it's Republicans making this determination. If you haven't been paying attention to the evidence presented and to, frankly, some of the pronouncements that have come from Chairman Nunes and other Republicans on that House Intel Committee throughout the duration of this investigation, and frankly, even including the pronouncements, including the Schiff memo coming from the Democrats. There just hasn't been anything compelling to support the underlying claim of, improper colluding with a foreign government to impact the 2016 election.
So also they were going to hold Steve Bannon in contempt for not answering questions. That's going to be dropped. But the Democrats say they want to keep this investigation going on.
Of course they do.
So what can they do? How do they fight back? Do they have any rights? I just don't know how this works.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're obviously not the majority party, so they're not going to be driving the decision making of that committee. But you have, as you heard Congressman Conaway say, you have the Mueller investigation, and that's where all the action is, because that's where the prosecutorial power lies. So this is interesting. It's noteworthy. It shouldn't be dismissed out of hand. But it's not the center of gravity in this matter. That's obviously resides with Bob Mueller. One other thing on this, though, too, and just in terms of Russian collusion and the integrity of our elections, it's funny, the same people that are very willy-nilly about voter fraud want to crack down on Russians or other foreign agents that could attempt to influence our elections by restricting our freedoms. Here we go again, the left. Their response to every challenge or exigency is to restrict our rights, our freedoms for the aggrandizement of government control. Let me give you an example. The Wall Street Journal editorial board opining on the Honest Ads Act.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly. Got to pay attention to these guys. They're always coming up with new and exciting ways to restrict your freedoms. Back last fall, two Democrat senators, Mark Warner from Virginia, Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, joined by, of course, John McCain, who's another speech regulator, McCain-Feingold, introduced the Honest Ads Act. The bill would impose new disclaimer and reporting requirements on Internet platforms that run paid advertising from Facebook and Twitter to the online news sites of major newspapers and magazines or the Drudge Report. The disclosure requirements would essentially require digital platforms to publish the name of any American seeking to discuss political subjects through paid ads, which the Wall Street Journal properly describes as a chilling standard. The bill would also impose legal liabilities on sites if advertising from prohibited actors slip through. Media outlets and digital platforms could be held civilly or criminally responsible for content on their sites that doesn't comply with the Federal Election Commission legal requirements. I mean, this is they raised New York Times v. Sullivan in terms of whether this is even constitutional. I would suggest it isn't, but that's the case, of course, where the Times wasn't liable for an advertisement it ran that a politician claimed was libelous. But But these kind of restrictions on First Amendment rights, on political speech, on political debate in response to Russian collusion. Remember what the left does, and some on the center right, like McCain, who also routinely acts as a commissar. They use crises to expand their control, and this legislation is a good example of it. So while they're, preening before the cameras about how concerned they are about the integrity of our elections and all the steps they're taking to make sure that there is an undue influence exerted on election outcomes in this country by hostile actors like Russians and others, they're also behaving as hostile actors in their own way at the same time. It's just worth noting. Got to, keep your eye on the ball. Don't keep your eye necessarily where politicians in D.C. want you to. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, Governor Rauner says it's a political hit job, and Jeannie Ives responds. But first, here is your forecast. Today, it's going to be windy, just kind of a yucky day, morning flurries, then a snow shower possible by this afternoon, a high of 36 degrees. Tonight, a low of 22. And for tomorrow, partly sunny, not as cold, a high of 44 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. I'm talking about yucky Northwest Indiana. I-65 is just a black ice rink right now. It is brutal. Between US 30 and Merrillville and 8094, traffic is essentially at a standstill in both directions. There have been a number of spinouts and crashes. It's dark and it's very icy on I-65. Now, right now, anyway, we're not hearing many issues like this on 8094. The jam cams you look at in that area show everything looking fine with no significant delays, but be careful. Indiana Toll Road also with no reported issues at the moment. Eden's inbound, little heavy Peterson to Montrose. That's a 2-minute delay. The outbound side is delay-free. Kennedy, 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 24. The Eisenhower, 43 minutes, 390. Burns Circle, outbound 30. Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to the drive. There are also some delays farther south starting at Weber Road. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th at the Loop. I-57 looks good in Chicago. Haven't heard of any issues right now farther south. We're checking on that. Bishop Ford, 30 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. There are some flight cancellations to the weather in the northeast. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Jeannie Ives might be Mike Madigan's favorite Republican. The Madigan machine has bankrolled Ives with thousands of dollars in shady labor union cash, turning Jeannie Ives into another Mike Madigan lackey. Listen to Ives defend Madigan.
Now we're going to call Mike Madigan a crook. Now we're going to call Mike Madigan a crook.
Instead of attacking Madigan's corrupt ways like Bruce Rauner, Jeannie Ives defends Madigan.
He's picking on Mike Madigan again. He's picking on Mike Madigan again.
Ives won't even commit to immediate repeal of the Madigan income tax hike.
You need legislator approval to repeal that, obviously, so you'd have to have them decide to do that, to repeal it, right? I can't guarantee what the legislator is going to send me in the bill.
Jeannie Ives, guaranteed to defend and defer to Mike Madigan.
I don't think that's any way to deal with the powerful Speaker of the House, Mike Madigan.
Paid for by Citizens for Rauner, Inc.
Hey, what's going on? What are you
doing?
doing?
Oh my gosh, no. Insomnia, please, not tonight. I've got a busy day tomorrow.
Ooh, what's that sound? Wow, sounds like your partner is sound asleep. You must be jealous.
Yes.
Too bad. Come on, let's go to the kitchen. Yes, you have ice cream and cookies. Eat all of it.
Insomnia, please, leave me alone.
No. Who is that? Check your phone. Ooh, scroll through social media. Check the news.
That's it. I'm taking Calitrin, so you will finally leave me alone for good.
Wait, no, not Calitrin. I'm sorry.
Too late.
No, please, no.
Finally, sleep.
Calitrin, the #1 choice for healthy weight loss that not only works while you sleep, it helps you sleep.
I really enjoy taking Calitrin because it definitely helps me with my sleeping. I have lost approximately 10 pounds, and I am very pleased with the results.
My name is Marcia, and my husband and I both take Calitrin to sleep better at night and for to help on his weight.
Check us out at toploss.com or call 1-833-TOP-LOSS.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you live. Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And switching gears, talk a little local politics. Week before the election, by the way, today polls are now open.
Oh, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And if Rick Saccone sees his shadow, there'll be 6 more weeks of politicking.
I mean, I knew that district, that 18th congressional district over there, which is going to go away, by the way, in a few years. I knew it was red. But they, besides Lamb, they haven't had it's so red that they don't even put up a Democratic challenger. So
it's a special election, and we talked to Selena Zito about yesterday that is sort of a lot of sound and fury because of the remap in Pennsylvania. You're going to have completely different districts for the November election. So, but anyway, it is a harbinger. It's being perceived as a harbinger of what could be to come in November, and so thus all the attention. This is Trump country. This is one of the districts that Trump won resoundingly and helped him carry Pennsylvania, and so people are trying to make this a bit of a litmus test in terms of whether or not the House Republicans can maintain control in November. So we'll see what happens today. But locally, we got an election in a week. We got a primary election, all kinds of races, not just the governor, attorney general, too.
Yeah, Erica Harold speaking out for the first time since allegations came forward that she allegedly 18 years ago during a beauty pageant in the back room was talking about same-sex adoption and said that she'd rather have a kid go to an abusive heterosexual couple than a gay couple.
It was she was asked a question about that as part of the interview portion of the Miss Illinois pageant. This was not in front of the audience. This was behind the scenes.
Right. 3
anonymous sources tell Marian Ahern and NBC5 that was her answer to that question. She initially said she didn't remember it. Then she restated. Then she stated her position is that she is open, supportive of same-sex adoptions, and she also had the Miss Illinois Scholarship Organization back her play that people shouldn't be criticizing Erica. She did a great job as Miss Illinois and so forth.
Well, Governor Ronner, who is supporting Erica Harold,
and financing her,
came out yesterday.
Rumor or political hit jobs or whatever. I don't know the background in that circumstance. I can't really comment. It's a preposterous question, and I know many loving, excellent parents who are gay couples, and that would be a good option. I've known Erica Harold for about 5 years, and I have found her to be a person of great talent and integrity.
So she came forward yesterday telling Craig Wall from ABC7, what I do remember is that at the time, I would have not supported same-sex adoption, but what I want to make very clear is my position today, which is I strongly support same-sex adoption and same-sex foster parenting. That was the big announcement that she made yesterday. And NBC5's Marian Ahern asked Ronner's challenger, Jeannie Ives, about it.
Nobody ever places any child in an abusive situation, period. We know the most motivated voters are the ones that are showing up at the poll. And when that comes up, I'll tell you what, that is real victory on March 20th for us.
That's what Marian Ahern asked her about, the coming election.
Right.
So next week. Wow.
So, I mean, does this, I don't know, how much people are paying attention to the Attorney General's race, but is this concerning to you at all with respect to who the Republican nominee is for Attorney General to face either Pat Quinn or Kwame Raoul, it looks like on the other side. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And, I kind of miss Pat Quinn, just but getting over to the other side. You know why? It's not so much I miss him.
What do you miss?
I miss Squeezy the pension python.
Oh, Squeezy.
And
I remember him. We found him in the Dominican, remember?
Yeah, sure, exactly. He was vacationing, Punta Cana. I mean, he earned it with all the pension reform that he promoted in Illinois.
Glad he didn't kill us.
And so if Pat Quinn promises to bring Squeezy back,
yeah,
then I think he should be the Democrat
nominee. Should be the Democrat nominee
for Attorney General. Yeah.
Oh.
And if he promises to stop sleeping in the one suit that he owns.
Oh, that's right.
Then he should be the Democrat nominee. But on the Republican side, we've interviewed both Erica Harold and Gary Grasso, who's a DuPage County board member, the other primary candidate for the nomination. I mean, does this impact your view on the race at all?
I mean, her, whether she said it or not, it was 18 years ago. It wasn't on tape, so I'm likely to believe that it was never said. But she changed her position, though, on same-sex adoption and same-sex foster parenting. Didn't you say, isn't her mom a foster parent? Or
she was a social worker who placed children in foster care.
Is that why they asked her that question? Do you think because her mom was a person who was in that position?
I think that was the job. According to those anonymous sources, so take them at their word that the question was asked. They used the fact that her mom was in that line of work and social work as the jumping off point to ask the question.
I know how you feel about same-sex couples, and you believe that every child has a right to a mom and a dad.
Right.
But I have three same-sex couples on our street, and they're very loving to their children. They're still married, whereas most of us are not still married, and I think the kids are just fine. So.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is the race itself. I so stipulated your description of your friends. Okay, not the Attorney General's race is the question.
I don't know how much she's litigated. I have to study that a little more, each candidate. But we did have Gary on, and he's accomplished. I can tell you that much.
Joe in Hoffman Estates, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. I'm going to do exactly what you said, Dan. Sarcastically, you said it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do nothing on Election Day. I'm going to stay home. I already played that game with Bruce Rauner, got up early, went in and voted. And look what we got. Until Madigan's gone, nothing's going to change all these people and all their promises. Not going to happen.
Joe, do you
talk them out of it, Dan?
Well, Joe, do you understand the irony of your position? Until Madigan is gone, which will only happen through a revolt of the electorate, I'm not going to do anything, which is exactly what Madigan wants. Do you understand that fatalism is what feeds the status quo? It really
the Republicans are against the Republicans in the state, Dan. So.
Well, I understand, but that's so you have an opportunity. You've got somebody that is, frankly, taking it to the moribund, pathetic, cowardly Republican Party establishment in the state. Her name's Jeannie Ives, and it's worth coming out to vote for her. I'll just make that case.
You know what she said in her commercial? To put Illinois in the rearview mirror, and I think that's probably the best part of her ad.
Well, it's either you do something or you put Illinois in a rearview mirror, and so as long as we're here until we put Illinois in the rearview mirror, why don't we go ahead and do something? Why don't we try it? Thanks for the call,
We already
Joe.
tried that with Rauner.
Yeah, but Jeannie Ives isn't Rauner, and Rauner's not Jeannie Ives, and not everybody's the same. Not everybody's a sellout. I mean, there are good legislators in Springfield too. There's just not enough of them. There are people who have courage in this party in the state. It just happens they're not in the leadership positions in the state, and that's what we've got to change. Thanks for the call, Joe. I appreciate it. And I understand your fatalism, and I understand the cynicism. I share it to some extent, but you have to put in the fight. You have to put in the fight in this life. Dan in Libertyville.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I think a bigger question is, what is the reason why Lisa Madigan all of a sudden decided she no longer wanted to be Attorney General? Is it just a coincidence that it happened immediately after we finally got an Inspector General?
I think I think she wants to spend more time with her cartoonist husband. He's lonely at home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Secondly, what's going to happen to all those millions of dollars that they were bragging about she had in her campaign chest?
Thanks for the call, Dan. So
Yeah, what happens to that money?
you cannot, once upon a time, you could convert campaign cash to personal cash and pay taxes on it. Can't do that anymore in Illinois. So all that money in her campaign account, or Ed Burke's campaign account for that matter, you can either donate it to charity, donate it back to the donors who gave it to you, or just continue to operate it and use it as a slush fund to support candidates that you want to support and otherwise make legitimate campaign or politically related expenditures. That's how it works now. I'm sorry, Amy is distracted by the dog.
by the dog.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Looking to put down another pet, are you?
No, the owners of Honest One Auto Care have this beautiful dog, Frosty, who likes me a little bit more than you, okay, Dan?
All right, quickly, Jennifer in Wheeling.
Hey, Dan, Amy, good morning. I just wanted to kind of make a comment in regards to that caller that just called about not voting and the fatalistic. Like, I never voted. I have never voted. My boyfriend totally red-pilled me, and I got my parents to vote. I got my best friend and her husband to vote. Granted, her husband and her moved to Wisconsin because they hate this state. But the more people that get out and vote, the better. We can't just sit back and let these people get away with what they're doing. We need to vote them out.
Thanks for the call, Jennifer. Well said, and I love the use of the term red-pilled. My boyfriend red-pilled me. I love it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
March 14th protests are your kindergartners or pre-Kers through high school-age kids going to be on the streets tomorrow protesting gun violence. We'll take your calls at 6:36.
And what to do when a well-known science teacher feeds a puppy to a snapping turtle in front of the students. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
32 degrees. The Palestinian prime minister is unharmed as far as we know after his convoy this morning was targeted by explosions in the Gaza Strip. Rami Hamdallah was en route to a waste treatment plant and a press availability. Hamdallah was with a Palestinian intelligence chief who also escaped uninjured, as far as we know at this time. Closely watched congressional election is happening in Pennsylvania today. Republican candidate Rick Saccone finds himself in a tight race with Democrat Connor Lamb. Saccone made some headline-grabbing accusations about his opponent's supporters at a rally last night.
And they have a hatred for our president. I tell you, many of them have a hatred for our country. And I'll tell you some more. My wife and I saw it again today. They have a hatred for God. It's amazing.
President Trump campaigned for Saccone Saturday night. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the nerve agent used to poison an ex-Russian spy in Britain clearly came from Russia. He adds the move will trigger a certain U.S. response. Texas Governor Greg Abbott offering a $15,000 reward following a series of package bombs in Austin, where Police Chief Brian Manley says the bombs were probably sent by the same person.
Based on evidence that we have at this scene, as well as at the other two scenes where we've had these explosions, this evidence makes us believe that these incidents are related.
Abbott says law enforcement is doing all it can in Austin to find whoever is behind the recent bombings. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations of engaging in sex acts with several students. The High School District 128 board voted last night to approve the firing of Corey Beard. The 28-year-old woman has been charged with 12 counts of criminal sexual assault, and police believe there may be more victims. Mayor Emanuel is scheduled to testify later this month in the wrongful death lawsuits brought by the families of Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones. The mayor will be deposed on March 29. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson will offer sworn depositions on Thursday. Police in southern Arizona say they've never seen it before. A woman in her wedding gown arrested for driving under the influence on her way to the wedding. Officers responded to a major 3-vehicle crash near Tucson yesterday. That's where they arrested the 32-year-old bride-to-be. One person was hospitalized with major injuries. Chicago sports, Bears getting some help for second-year quarterback Mitchell Trubisky in the form of Jaguars free agent wide receiver Allen Robinson, who says he will sign with the Bears. Cubs had the day off yesterday. White Sox beat the Mariners in spring ball. The Bulls welcome the Clippers tonight. The news, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
You can handle the truth. Here it is. Bruce Rauner betrayed our party and won't change. From income tax hikes and property tax spikes to sanctuary state and Chicago bailouts, Rauner's term has been a disaster. We make a change now, or you put Illinois in your rearview mirror. From the farm to West Point to the State House, I've proven I'm the real deal. Don't be afraid to make a change. If you want a conservative governor, vote for her. I'm Jeannie Ives. I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois. You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
6:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 eastbound stop and go Grant to before I-65. Two left lanes are blocked with a crash involving multiple vehicles. And then I-65 is just a mess due to black ice. Got traffic essentially at a standstill in both directions. 8094 and US 30 in Merrillville. Eden's inbound delays start at Niles Center Road. 29 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 21. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose. Seaman the Express. Outbound 27 minutes to the airport. About Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 32. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36 minutes. The Ryan, 27 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 427. Traffic. Service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out. Custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase. You spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only. Ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny, breezy, and colder. A morning flurry. Snow showers for us pop up around noon time. Heavier lake effect snow could hit northwest Indiana. High of 36. Clear and cold, 22 overnight. Currently 30 at O'Hare, 32 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and
hi, pretty Frosty.
Frosty.
And she has hip problems, so be careful when you pick her up.
This is Karen's. How old is she? 15-year-old.
She's 14.
14-year-old little dog. What kind of dog is this?
Terrier. What kind of dog is this?
Little terrier.
She's so cute. Hi, Frosty. Frosty, look at mommy. Come here, pretty.
Just stay away from her, Frosty. Itchy trigger finger over there. You get a sniffle and she puts it down.
I hope you're feeling okay, Frosty, because if not, I can take care of it.
Oh, and by the way, we're at Honest One Auto Care, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, and Karen is the proprietor of this establishment. We'll be talking to in the 7 o'clock hour, and maybe we'll talk to Frosty a little bit more, too.
Yeah, put Frosty gentle. Okay.
Yeah.
Gentle.
No, don't tell me, Hang 'em High Jacobson. How many kills do you have to your credit? All
2.
right. All right. Tomorrow is going to be a bunch of student walkouts. March 14th, student walkouts, including in the Chicagoland area, to protest, virtue signal about gun violence. And the question is, should students be disciplined? Should they be rewarded, including with like class credit, or should they just keep walking? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Here's the note that Fenwick.
Oh, that's right. That's
Fenwick,
where Governor Quinn went.
Correct.
Larry Wirt.
It's a poor man's Bennett Academy.
Oh,
how
my gosh.
Fenwick is known. That's how Fenwick is known.
Who's wearing that hat, Bennett Academy Red Wing.
And here's a good example of why. The missive from the Fenwick administration to its community. Fenwick community. As many of you know, there are plans across the country to have student walkouts on the morning of March 14th. We've had several student groups approach us about this topic, and they've offered options on what they want to do for this. After talking with the students, we've decided to have a special schedule on that day, giving students the following options. Students will be allowed to go outside of the school to participate in a student-planned event.
Okay.
Students will be allowed to go to the auditorium to pray the rosary. Students will be allowed to go to the cafeteria to write letters to their congressman, senator, or any other individuals that may be able to affect change. The principal, Peter Groom is his name, stressed the following. Students must carry ID with them. Double entry door system at the front entrance requires visitors to be identified. Buzz into the atrium, buzz into the school if their presence has been approved. All school personnel expecting visitors must alert the front desk. All outside doors to the school are locked to visitors at all times. No students are allowed to exit during the school day without permission. Students, faculty, and staff regularly conduct safety drills. After school hours, the front desk is manned by armed off-duty Oak Park Police Department personnel. Isn't that interesting? Even in nuclear-free Oak Park, armed off-duty Oak Park police after school hours at Fenwick.
So the event is going to take place across the country at 10 a.m. in every time zone, and again lasts for 17 minutes, 1 minute for each of the victims gunned down. People are texting me right now because a lot of every school, almost every school is going to be doing something. And one of my family members has decided not to walk out. This is the second time that they've had something like this.
Now,
so they can choose to just stay in school too while their, fellow students walk out for 17 minutes. I don't know what they're planning at Blaine, but I hope to goodness that nobody is walking out because that would be a safety hazard because Southport and Grace, people kind of fly down those streets. Not really aware of the speed limit signs. So
at New Trier, they're
oh yeah, what are they doing?
At New Trier, they're selling shirts on the property. Protect kids, not guns, on the front with 2 hands in the form of a heart.
Oh.
Protect kids, not guns, and then on the back, thoughts and prayers is crossed out. Policy and change is written underneath it. That's New Trier for you.
Well, yesterday when
I'm not done on New Trier.
Oh, okay, I'm not done yet.
Protect kids, not guns. Would anybody like to lead the scions of the enlightened and wealthy, the many rich and sophisticated and awful people on the North Shore? Many, not all, many. What do police use to protect kids?
Guns.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Class dismissed. You can go out and smoke dope now. I'm specifically in New Trier, because I know that's endorsed as well. So taking your calls in terms of whether your kids are participating in this or you want them to participate in this or what your feeling is about how the school, your school, where your kids go, is handling this whole business.
Gosh, we haven't heard, and I should have inquired, but if my kids were going to walk out, we probably would have talked about it, but they haven't said a word. But students from New Jersey to Indiana to California, everybody says that they're going to participate, as well as schools from as far as Ireland, Switzerland, Israel, and Mexico.
Text from Steve on 88. Students should really walk out to protest teachers having sex with them. Okay. Oh, that could be another day.
Well, that seems to be running rampant these days, especially with coaching.
If I was a teacher,
yes,
I pop quiz tomorrow.
Oh, at 10 a.m.
Pop quiz tomorrow.
Pop quiz at 10 a.m.
No makeups. Those are zeros.
Well, some think it's their civic duty to go outside and form the solidarity to show that they want to stop gun violence in schools. I want to stop gun violence in schools. I know you do too. Everybody does.
Is there anybody who doesn't?
Right, exactly. But walking out, is that going to make a difference?
Oh, it's going to change everything.
It's going to change
It'll change everything immediately because you just virtue signal and all of a sudden the world's a better place.
Kids feel empowered.
This is Ivy League stuff too. I mean, Yale students are actually getting credit for it.
Oh, they are?
Paul in New Lenox, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, great show. I just had a comment on, they got movies like Mean Girls, The Duff, and statistics are showing that about 4,400 kids commit suicide every year because of school bullying. Does that mean that they're going to walk out for 4,400 minutes? Or they're going to analyze what exactly is really going on? Some of these kids really need help. That's my comment.
Thanks for the call, Paul. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And let us not forget what the Florida state representative said, because she was, after weeks of protests at the park for the Parkland shooting, she was on the floor.
We've been told that we need to listen to the children. I do what the children ask. Are there any children on this floor? Are there any children making laws? Do we allow the children to tell us that we should pass a law that says no homework? Or you finish high school at the age of 12 just because they want it so? No. The adults make the laws because we have the age, we have the wisdom, and we have the experience.
Well, that's it. Yes, somebody, I can't remember, I think it was somebody who texted to this show. Good insight. So 18-year-olds are not responsible enough to have a gun, but they're responsible enough to construct public policy for 330 million people. Right? We don't trust them with that, but we trust them to, hey, whatever they say, let's do it. Okay. Square that circle. Andy in Hinsdale.
So this is another meaningless feel-good gesture. You know, what high school kid doesn't want to walk out for a class period and take time off? You know, but you know what the hard thing to do is? The hard thing is to put their phones in their social media apps down and reach out to the kids who are isolated, who are alone, the kids who sit by themselves. That's the hard thing to do. So they won't do that. They're going to walk out and do something stupid like this. I have a freshman in high school, and I asked him what his thoughts were, and he said, this is idiotic. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm staying at school. So.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks
and then
for
the people
call,
who
Andy.
stay in class get ridiculed and bullied
Well,
because they didn't go out and join their, the other fellow students.
Right. I mean, I think Andy's onto something, too. That's the idea. Like, you go out and you celebrate yourself, which is what this really is. Celebrating me. Oh, that's what it is.
People in high school are very self-absorbed, Dan.
It's not just high school. But I mean, this is our political class. Celebrate me. Look at me. Look at how virtuous I am. Look at how morally superior I am, which is a good
something.
Which is a good indication of not being morally superior, by the way, or having any basis in morality. But yeah, and then go back and then make a snarky comment on Facebook about another one of your classmates, or as Andy said, continue to ridicule the awkward kid in the corner, that kind of thing. Tom in Deer Park.
Put aside Fenwick for 1 second, because it's a private school, happens to be in the People's Republic of Representative Don Harmon, and this is the stunt they've been doing forever. You mentioned New Trier, and let's talk about all the other public schools, where honestly, the superintendents and the staff in general have an agenda, and that agenda is the end of the Second Amendment. So now we've got the administration with staff coming up with rules to let the kids come out and walk out of school in the name of this anti-Second Amendment so-called safety, what peer pressure does that put on the rest of the kids that aren't sure or that don't want to do it? When there's 24 kids in your class and maybe there's 3 of you that hunt or believe in self-defense or just aren't sure, the immense amount of peer pressure being put on those kids, not so much by the other students, but by the administration, in my opinion, is very dangerous. And I was wondering what you think.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tom. I go back to the back of the new Cheer T-shirt that they're selling on campus there. Thoughts and prayers crossed out, policy and change written in over it. Thoughts and prayers crossed out, policy and change. Because I don't want to think about my neighbor. And prayer, of course, that's laughable. That's something to be ridiculed. Policy and change. I don't want to be other regarding, and I don't want to understand my place in this world where I am on vis-a-vis the Almighty. No place for that.
Well, I see the T-shirt a little different, but
let me finish,
okay.
And then you can offer your perspective.
Oh, no, it's true. Okay.
This is. I am not going to be other regarding. I am not going to think truth exists outside of me, but I am willing to impose my will on you.
I see the shirt as we're done grieving and now we want action.
Yes. Well, that is the kind of anodyne analysis that people would suggest that's about. They would suggest it's about. But they want action is to what? Impose their will. Okay, what's your will? Ban guns. I mean, that's the new truth. That's the North Shore perspective.
What's Bennett Academy doing? We should call our former high schools and ask them.
They're educating children.
And ask them what.
Yeah, they're educating young people to go be killers intellectually, which is what they should do, which is what high schools should be doing and grade schools should be doing. New Trier, that's what this is. That's absolutely what this is. That is the perfect T-shirt. Thoughts and prayers crossed out, policy and change. That is the perfect T-shirt for the cultural Marxist, for the sentimental, sophisticated barbarian, which the North Shore has many among its ranks. Julia in Bloomington.
Good morning. I was calling about your issue about the kids walking out, and we were at dinner last night, and my sons, 17 and 14, they said, "So, Mom, what is this about anyway? What are they hoping to accomplish by walking out?" And my oldest son, he says, "You know what they're going to accomplish? They're going to get out of class for 17 minutes, and they're all going to stand around and look on their phones." He goes, "That's what's going to happen tomorrow." And he said, "And I'm not going." And my 14-year-old, he said, so we kind of talked about it a little bit. So our district down here is supporting it. No one will be disciplined for walking out, but you will be disciplined if you interfere with the walking out. So my boys will not be participating. But we had to sit down because they talk about the walkout, do this, do that. And my 14-year-old, he's like, "What exactly is the point? Okay, support the people from Florida, support." He goes, "But what are we accomplishing by doing this?" He said, "It doesn't seem like it's going to do anything." I'm like, "You're right. It's not going to do anything." So they're not walking.
Thanks for the call, Julie. Well, here's the other thing, too, is who's behind this? You think this is all spontaneous order? No. You have people that organize the Women's March, the PHAT March, that are behind many of these, behind the walkout nationally and behind many specific walkouts specifically.
I got an email months ago, right after the shooting happened, about March 14th. And then she didn't know where I worked, and she said, "Start spreading the word on your radio station that there's going to be a march." And I said, "Well, I can't promise you that, but I'm sure we'll discuss it."
Right. So there's no ideology underneath this, right? And by the way,
you have to arrange a busload of women to go to D.C.
Right. And by the way, for a Catholic school like Fenwick, to go back to Fenwick. Mm-hmm. The intersectionality, identity politics of the PHATs, those cultural Marxists that organize the PHAT events, that's not consistent with Catholicism. Fenwick. So get it together. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. March Madness kicks off today. The CEO of Dow Chemical stepping down. A showdown brewing between Whole Foods and its vendors. Those stories next.
This is Jack from Banyan Hill. You like freedom? I do. You like money? I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're gonna love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard right. $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want a chance to grab your full share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by April 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.myfreedomchecks.com before the April 1st deadline. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
Bosses may need to keep a close eye on their workers beginning today. March Madness kicking off. All 67 NCAA men's basketball games will be streamed online. That may distract a few million workers from their paid duties. Andrew Liveris, longtime CEO of Dow Chemical, giving up his executive role next month. He will retire in July. Economic reports today include the latest consumer price index, as well as an update on business optimism across the country. Whole Foods informing many of its vendors it plans to assess service fees on them as it expands under new owner Amazon. The fees are to defray costs of centralizing Whole Foods merchandising, raising vendors' cost of doing business. We'll see how that works. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Guns have no moral agency. Predators hurt and kill people. Often they use a gun. Good guys protect people. Often they use a gun. When a predator kills with a gun, he is rightly called a monster. When a good guy with a gun fails to protect people, he's rightly called a coward. The very nature of the way we discuss an atrocity like the Parkland school shooting conveys our understanding that it's bad guys and good guys who are responsible for what they do, and not the instrumentality they use in their conduct. So arguing that the response to the deadly success of the shooter and the failure of the deputy sheriff is to reduce the number of good guys and their instrumentality choices does not logically follow from the accepted premise. And neither does the failure of state agencies locally and federally to exercise the power they currently possess make the case for expanding their power at the expense of our rights. No amount of emergency planning or algorithmic modeling or government power can replace the variety of human judgment calls that will be thrust upon a free people. The question then isn't what's in my holster, it's what's in my head and my heart.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
They're voting in Pennsylvania.
and Democrats hope it's the first of many election wins in 2018. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's all in the Lord's hands. He's got to get the people to move their hearts to get out and vote today. Wake up and go vote, people.
Rick Saccone's trying to keep a vacant seat in Congress Republican red. He says he was Trump before President Trump was Trump. Democrat Connor Lamb's been trying to woo union workers who are Trump voters focused on their issues.
It's the pensions of many of our labor unions, and it's also things like Social Security and Medicare that apply to every American.
Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee say they're done with the Russia probe and have found no evidence of collusion or conspiracy with the Trump campaign.
We found no reason to think that there's something we're missing in this regard. We've talked to everybody we believe we need to talk to.
Republican Mike Conway's on the committee. The president tweeted the findings in all caps, but Democrats are not happy.
Congressman Adam Schiff responding, this was not the finding of the House Intelligence Committee, Mr. President, but only a statement by its GOP members who lack the courage to stand up to a president of their own party when the national interest necessitates it.
Fox's Ellison Barber, don't touch a package you didn't order that shows up at your front door. That's the warning in Austin, Texas, where 2 people have died in 3 package bombings this month. Fox's Eben Brown is there live.
Yeah, Dave, police here in Austin don't have a person of interest yet, but Chief Brian Manley says whoever is leaving package bombs at people's homes knows exactly what they're doing.
They do have a certain level of skill to be able to construct a device like this and then deliver that device to your target without having it explode either during construction or during delivery does take a certain level of sophistication.
And the Washington Post reports now that the stepfather of the victim killed March 2nd is friends with the grandfather of the teenager killed in the first explosion yesterday, Dave.
Evan, for the 3rd time this month, the Northeast getting hit with a storm. Boston and coastal areas of New England will get at the worst, maybe a foot of snow. Fox News, fair and balanced.
32 degrees. Skies are cloudy at 7:02. On AM 560, The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations that she engaged in sex acts with several students. High School District 128 Board voted last night to approve the firing of Corey Beard. Charges are pending after a CTA bus was struck by a vehicle on Chicago's far south side. Investigators this morning believe the man driving the vehicle that struck the bus was speeding and may have been intoxicated at the time of the crash. A Chicago man could spend the rest of his days behind bars for the 2015 murders of 2 nephews of an Illinois state senator. Deontay Logan was sentenced to life in prison yesterday for the deaths of the 2, John and Willie Lee Hunter, nephews of State Senator Matty Hunter. Illinois once again at the top of the list of the bottom-of-the-barrel states in the country. U.S. News & World Report last week came out with its list of most and least financially stable states in the country. Illinois leads the worst list when looking at pension debt, balanced budgets, and credit ratings. Mayor Emanuel adding more voices to his call for Governor Rauner to sign a bill requiring gun dealers to get a state license. AM 560's David Stewart reports.
At police headquarters, Mayor Emanuel stood with parents whose children were killed by guns, along with lawmakers, local religious leaders, and Superintendent Eddie Johnson. The mayor said Governor Rauner shouldn't wait.
And his election, or primary election, doesn't take precedent over the primary concern that we all have for public safety.
Governor Rauner again refused to take a public stand, but he appears to be leaning away from signing the license bill.
Again, I am going to look at a comprehensive solution.
But he wouldn't say when he expects to offer legislation. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Meantime, it is clear the governor that may want to ban one piece of that gun control push, not ban, but actually sign a ban. The governor yesterday saying he will sign into law a ban on bump stocks. Some students around Chicagoland will be walking out of class tomorrow, part of a national effort aimed at preventing school shootings. The children plan to step outside mid-morning along with some teachers for 17 minutes. A few of those students will be calling on Congress to pass tighter gun control laws. Chicago sports, Bears apparently going free agent fishing and pulling up out of the water. Allen Robinson from Jacksonville. Pretty good catch. Free agent wideout, who spent last season recovering from a torn ACL, but the year before, 14 touchdowns. White Sox beat the Mariners last night 4-2. They're off today. The Bulls welcoming the Clippers to the UC tonight. The news, a service of Staples. Staples helps keep your ink stocked and your business moving all year long. Now trade in your old printer and Save up to $80 on a new Epson EcoTank, including up to 2 years of ink. Ends 3/24. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply. Staples, it's pro time. 7:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Are we ready to open next month?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, it's complicated. Fire protection, first aid supplies, uniforms, safety training, mat services. Oh, and restroom supplies.
So uncomplicated. Call Cintas. They'll handle all of it.
Wow, one company can handle all that? That's not very complicated.
So, you'll be ready?
Oh, we'll be ready.
Oh, I'm ready!
Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
7:07 and a check of the roads. It's a mess this morning in Northwest Indiana, and Jim Talamonte has details in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
That's right, Mike, and black ice is the culprit. Traffic is essentially at a standstill in both directions on I-65, 8094, and south of US 30 in Merrillville. There is a southbound crash at 8094 in the left lane, but traffic has been going very slowly for some time now just due to the very slick conditions there and that black ice. And there's eastbound 8094. Traffic is jammed, chased just before I-65 where a multi-vehicle crash has two left lanes blocked. Edens is 27 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy, 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose, 20 in the Express. Outbound 16 minutes to Montrose, 32 to the airport. On Eisenhower, delays start at North Avenue. It's now an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown, 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 36 minutes to 390. On Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Bryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the Verge, Bishop 426. Northbound Tri-State stop and go 87th to 75th. Then from the Reagan Toll to North Avenue, Veterans Memorial, slow Butterfield to Roosevelt. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today partly sunny and breezy. A morning flurry followed by an afternoon snow shower. High today 36. A mainly clear and cold night, low 22. Partly sunny and milder tomorrow, high 47 and a low 29. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare, 32 along the lakefront. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora. Part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, and we'll be speaking with Karen, the proprietor of this establishment, at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, the bottom of this hour. But first, we have to get to one Hillary Clinton, Amy. Hillary Clinton is not bitter about the 2016 loss. We've established that.
She's not an angry woman.
That discussion is over. There is no bitterness. She has moved on. And to prove it, she appeared at this India Today conclave where she was interviewed, and all she talked about was the 2016 election, to prove how over it she is. And if you thought deplorables was an interesting way to characterize Trump supporters, you haven't heard anything yet, because Trump voters fit into one of three categories, and here they are.
The map of the United States. There's all that red in the middle where Trump won. I win the coasts. I win, Illinois and Minnesota, places like that. But what the map doesn't show you is that I won the places that represent 2/3 of America's gross domestic product. So I won the places that
Please clap.
are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward, and his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backwards. You didn't like black people getting rights, you don't like women, getting jobs, you don't want to, see that Indian American succeeding more than you are. Whatever your problem is, I'm going to solve it. So it was a symptom, but it was also a cause, because having someone run for president who voices those ideas, who rejects so much of the American story and our values, was also the underlying cause as well.
So basically, she called Trump voters poor, racists, and sexist. It's a new take on deplorables.
Yes.
And although she was wearing a sari, she wasn't sorry.
Oh,
That's
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Thank you.
So the two categories. People who are against black people having rights, that's one category of Trump voter.
Mm-hmm.
People who are against women having jobs, that's another category of Trump voter. And then just to put a fine point on it, she went on the women who voted for Trump, because she was asked, well, 52% of white women voted for Trump. How do you explain that? She's got an explanation.
Almost 52% of white women voted for him, in spite of the Billy Bush tape and so forth. How do you explain that?
Well, I should start by explaining that Democrats, going back to my husband and even before, but just in recent times, going back to Bill and our candidates and then President Obama, have been losing the white vote, including white women. We do not do well with white men, and we don't do well with married white women. And part of that is an identification with the Republican Party and a sort of ongoing pressure to vote the way that your husband, your boss, your son, whoever, believes you should.
So, again, to round out, you have three choices here, or all of the above, or some combination. It's all acceptable answers. You're either don't believe black people should have rights, you don't believe women should have jobs, or you're a woman who is bullied by the men in your life. That is
why you voted for Trump.
Those are the Trump voters.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, glad we squared that away. Now, with a preview of Hillary's 2020 campaign, we're pleased to be joined by Noah Rothman, who's the associate editor of Commentary Magazine. Noah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, how do you think that Hillary Clinton properly distilled the electorate and the dynamic at play in the 2016 election?
Well, if she was there to answer the question, how did you get Trump, she pretty thoroughly answered it in just about every sense you could want it answered. Maybe she didn't think that's what she was doing, but the woman's existence now is essentially to remind us every day how she lost the 2020 race. And one of the big ones was deplorables. This is just a larger, broader, more specific articulation of what she meant by deplorables, which at the time, I have to say, I didn't think was the giant gaffe that it was, because it had managed to make people on on the pro-Trump side who had outspoken affinities for the alt-right, a really noxious group. They label themselves deplorable. And I thought, well, that's crazy, but maybe this is going to be something that will catch on and people will find themselves deplorable. No, the rule always holds. I was dead wrong. The rule always holds. You never, ever, ever insult the voters. Even Donald Trump, when he said, how stupid are the people of Iowa, learned that rule very quickly. You don't insult the voters.
Well,
but
do you think
Hillary Clinton has not internalized that lesson?
No, she has not. And doesn't this seal the deal that she's not going to be running for president in 2020?
I would think so. I mean, there's always that speculation. I never really bought into that speculation in the first place, but I think this is a kamikaze run. I can't imagine that she's going to recover from this thing, but maybe she is so deep in the weeds and believes her own hype so much that she really thinks she will make a comeback. I don't know, but she's not going to. It's not going to be successful.
No. I'm going to hang on to that maybe that you just said because I don't want you to dash my hopes. I want to see her run again. I don't want her to see her go away. Speaking of going away, House Intel Committee yesterday announcing that after their investigation and interviews of some 6 dozen witnesses and pouring through all the documents they were able to get their hands on, they have found no evidence of either presidential campaign colluding in any material way with Russian operatives or hostile agents in the 2016 election. Now, of course, this isn't where the action is. The action is with the Mueller investigation. But should we just dismiss the findings of the Republicans on that House Intel Committee out of hand, or should we look at that and say, I mean, even if there's a partisan lens, this is still a fair read of all of the evidence and the witness testimony that at least we're publicly aware of?
Well, we haven't seen the evidence or the testimony. We've seen the top lines and in the headlines, essentially, of the investigation closing, and that's fine. And I think that there's more evidence to suggest that we don't have evidence of quote unquote collusion than we do. So if that was the headline, House Intel probe finds no evidence of collusion, I think it would have made a bigger splash than it did yesterday. The reason why it was so muted, A, is because the investigation led by Devin Nunes has been seeking to undermine that conclusion very publicly in the public, latching onto false leads like these Peter Strzok texts about a secret society representing a conspiracy, using Bob Goodlatte's term there. That was a conspiracy. That they burned a little bit of credibility there. And then the commission comes out and didn't just say we didn't find any collusion, but also that the Russians hadn't developed a clear preference for Hillary Clinton or for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. That conclusion is dubious. It goes against intelligence agencies, not just Barack Obama's intelligence agencies, but Donald Trump's intelligence agencies. It contradicts a finding in an indictment issued by the special counsel's office. And then Representative Rooney was on CNN last night saying, no, that's not true. I don't believe it. He's on the Intel Committee. It was a really bad idea to make that part of this investigation because now that's debatable. And it's refutable, frankly. And it muddies, again, the waters. If the conclusion was only nil collusion, they'd be in pretty firm ground. But they're trying to make a political argument here in order to defend Donald Trump and his conduct in 2016 and his relationship with Russia, just by existence. Just the very virtue of the fact that Russia might have found him more attractive candidate than Hillary Clinton. That's a hard argument to make, and it's one Republicans are now committed to making, and it's going to muddy the waters, and I think it's not going to do them any favors.
Well, obviously, Adam Schiff wants to keep the investigation going. What is going to be the Democratic response to this?
We're back to dueling memos. Everybody's going to have their own version
Another
of this
easy
finding.
read.
I love dueling memos.
The Democratic version is going to be as or more partisan than the Republican version. They don't want this investigation to end. Just because it's closing doesn't mean it's over. If Democrats retake the House, you can definitely expect that we're going to get version 2 of this very same investigation. So it's just never, 2016 is never going to end.
Before we let you go, I have to ask you about this. The Louis Farrakhan brouhaha, you've had the Republican Jewish Coalition call on 8 members of the Democrat caucus to resign who are affiliated with and or apologists for Louis Farrakhan, who is a virulent anti-Semite. And that would actually, if they did, that would knock out most of Illinois' Democrat congressional delegation, by the way, not just Andy Davis. But anyway, speaking of muted, a term you just used, how about the muted response to the D.C. press corps about Louis Farrakhan, particularly his February 28th anti-Semitic rant, and those that still cover for him, but get no coverage for doing so?
Yeah, I mean, we are in the second great awakening now of Louis Farrakhan's anti-Semitism, the first one being after the 1995 Million Man March. They discovered who he was and forced a lot of people to denounce him and distance themselves from him. But all those people apparently forgot to stop meeting with him after they denounced him. And now we've just done a little bit of digging, mostly by conservative media, but there are some members of the mainstream press, Jake Tapper in particular, who have tugged on this thread and found out that quite a few members of Congress, and mostly in the Congressional Black Caucus, for example, have been keeping a close relationship with Mr. Farrakhan, and are doing so in spite of calls, or almost because of calls to distance themselves from him. It's sort of a petulant reaction because he's being attacked by the right people, so he needs to be defended. It's a very bad idea, and it's one of the reasons why partisan politics is so poisonous, is because it's not as though he has anything very special to offer, but he makes the right people mad, and that impulse fuels so much of our politics today, just posturing in order to make people you don't like frustrated. Mm-hmm. But you would think that, again, this point has been made, but if he was anywhere near as well known as somebody like David Duke, for example, who's much less mainstream, who has fewer followers on Twitter and doesn't meet with congressmen in private, then you would see a significant reaction from the D.C. press corps. But because it is a different kind of racism, it is anti-Semitism, and it is exhibited by an African American, it confounds our constructs of what racism is supposed to be. And so you don't see those kind of expressions of outrage and dogged efforts to get people to distance themselves from Louis Farrakhan, and just disinterest from the coastal press corps. So, yeah, it is a double standard, but it is one that's being expressed as a double standard, so I have some hope that at least people will be self-aware of what this double standard is.
He is Noah Rothman, Associate Editor for Commentary Magazine. Noah, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What to do when a well-known science teacher kills a puppy in front of his students, fed it to a snapping turtle. But first, here's your forecast for today. Morning flurries, on and off, some lake effect snow, especially if you're in northwest Indiana. A high today of just 36 degrees. Tonight, breezy and cold, a low of 22. Ouch. And then tomorrow, partly sunny, not as cold. A little bit better, a high of 44. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. How's I-65 doing? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, it is just brutal with black ice, so severely slick conditions right now. Traffic moves very slowly in both directions on I-65, south of US 30 to and from 8094. There is a southbound crash in the left lane near 8094, but it's just very, very slow going in both directions and very slick. And there's eastbound 8094 as well, jammed from Burr to B465. Crash blocking two left lanes. Eden's inbound 27 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 24. Kennedy, now 53 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Ike, an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown. It's 36 minutes outbound. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Heavy on the northbound Tri-State, 87th to 75th. From Reagan to way to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial slow in pockets between 63rd and Roosevelt. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This is Reverend Bob Vandenbosch for the One Nation Under God Foundation. Tuesday, March 20th is an important day for Christians in Illinois. It's primary election day. Christians not only have the right to vote in our nation, but also a duty. Jesus says in Luke 20, "Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." In Jesus' time, kings and dictators ruled. The people could not choose their leaders. In America, God has given us a voice in who our leaders are. Our rights, including the freedom to worship God as we choose, are recognized as inalienable. While voting is optional in America, it is our duty as Christians. Please visit IllinoisFamily.org to find out where candidates stand on issues important to Christians. Be sure you vote on Tuesday, March 20th. God bless you.
Paid for by the One Nation Under God Foundation, a tax-exempt organization.
Our nation is deeply divided. Gone are the days when civil discourse bridged the gap between the two sides. If we'll ever find common ground, we must get beyond the talking points. AM 560, The Answer, is bringing together two of America's sharpest political minds from opposite sides of the aisle. She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. He's one of the sharpest conservative minds in Illinois. He has years of experience as a political strategist and pundit, including his own run for governor. Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by AM Woodland Outdoor Design and by 1-800-4-BLINDS, Chicago. Blinds, shades, and shutters.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Washington is full of career politicians. It's time we put everyday Americans back in charge of your government. I'm Dr. Suppan Shah. My parents immigrated here with nothing in their pockets. They worked tirelessly to give me the American dream. Now, as a physician and successful entrepreneur, I'm running for Congress to bring real-world experience to Washington. I will heal our broken healthcare system, bring jobs back to the 10th District, and then term limit myself and get out of the way for the next citizen legislator. I knew it would be difficult taking on the entrenched politicians. The insiders have come after me with everything they've got, even lying to scare you from voting for the only outsider and the only candidate born right here in the 10th District. Here's the choice you have: more of the same or a new path. You can vote for politics as usual or for common sense and real-world experience. Republicans, the choice is yours. I'm Dr. Suppan Shah. I approve this message, and I humbly ask for your vote so I can bring common sense back to Washington. Learn more at drshaw4congress.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Amy, apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger is still trying to make good for banging the maid. He is suing Big Oil for first-degree murder.
Is there a victim here?
We're all victims.
Oh, really?
They're like Big Tobacco. Big Oil's like Big Tobacco. They're guilty of first-degree murder.
So Not involuntary manslaughter, first-degree murder.
First-degree murder, premeditated. It's willful and wanton. They're destroying the climate. That's impacts all of us. He's a big climate change goon. And this is the same guy who, by the way, used his private jet for daily commutes to the California governor's mansion when he was governor in that joke of a
look at his carbon footprint, huh?
Yeah. So there's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, I understand, you want to get back into the good graces of the town after you kind of stuck it in the back of Maria Shriver for sticking it in the front of. Never mind.
My God.
No. Yeah, I won't finish that thought. But you know what I mean.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Karen Conway, owner of Honest One Auto Care, where we are today here in Aurora for our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
But first, let's go into the newsroom to find out and catch up at news here at home and around the world. Here's Mike Scott.
32 in clouds. Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee are shutting down the panel's investigation. They say it's not turned up any evidence of collusion between Russia and the 2016 Trump campaign. The top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee says the investigation may not be over.
We're going to continue to do the investigation. It'll obviously be much more difficult. We've never had the power to call in witnesses, but we've learned a great deal when the majority would.
Committee Democrats say GOP leadership has not pushed to obtain some key testimony. Governor of Texas is offering a $15,000 reward following a series of deadly package bomb attacks in Austin. 3 have blown up in the past 10 days, 2 yesterday. The helicopter company involved in that deadly crash on New York's East River has a spotty safety record. Liberty Helicopters, based in Kearney, New Jersey, had at least 4 accidents before 5 were killed on Sunday. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations of engaging in sex acts with several students. The High School District 128 board voted last night to approve the firing of Corey Beard. The 28-year-old woman was charged with 12 counts of criminal sexual assault. Police believe there could be more victims. Illinois' new plan to pay hospitals in the state based on the number of people they treat is not set in stone, despite the governor's signature. Governor Bruce Rauner signed that assessment yesterday. The plan changes how states both tax and pay hospitals for Medicaid patients. The big change is now how dollars will follow patients. But federal Medicaid managers still have to okay those changes, and that could take months. The top lawyer for the federal government says former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich does not deserve another appeal hearing. The Solicitor General writing that Blagojevich's latest bid to get his 2009 corruption conviction overturned is unwarranted and unnecessary. Former governor's lawyers want the United States Supreme Court to review his conviction. The Bears apparently getting some free agent help for second-year quarterback Mitch Trubisky. Former Jaguars wide receiver Allen Robinson apparently plans to sign a free agent deal with the Bears when the new league year opens on Wednesday. Cubs had yesterday off. They have split squad action this afternoon. White Sox beat the Mariners 4-2. The news a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. 7:33. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu.
Old Man Winter is here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at ArlingtonHeightsHeatingandCooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank. I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Speeds are severely reduced in northwest Indiana due to very slick roadways. I-65 traffic is just crawling along very slowly in both directions. I mean, US 30 at 8094 and eastbound 8094 is jammed for to be 465. Multi-vehicle crash in the two left lanes. Edens is 24 minutes late. Cook to the junction up on 30. Kennedy, now an hour and 10 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express, outbound 38 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 43 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to the Loop, northbound Tri-State, tied up from 87th to 75th, from Reagan to North Avenue, northbound Veterans Memorial, still Boughton most of the way to St. Charles, and Army Trail to 290. Traffic also is a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only, ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny, breezy, and colder. A morning flurry could turn into lake effect snow, especially for northwest Indiana, high 36. Clear and cold, low 22 overnight, currently 32. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we're at Honest A1 Auto Care in Aurora this morning, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And we're pleased to be joined by the proprietor of this establishment, Karen Conway. Karen, thanks so much for hosting us this morning.
My pleasure.
Good to speak with you.
Thank you very much for coming in and giving Frosty some of her little treats and that, our greeter.
Right.
Our residential greeter.
Frosty's your little...
our greeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
She's a
kind of dog is
West
Frosty?
Highland Terrier.
Yeah.
And she's employed here. She does sleep on the job much more than most people, but she's cute, so she can get away with
That's
it.
right. She's very conscientious. So this is the first it's a company that's based in Scottsdale.
Mhm.
This is the first franchise in Illinois. Give us the perspective on this franchise, this approach to the auto care industry, and your decision to get involved in it.
Well, it's interesting because I wanted to be able to have a business that could be part of the community, and was searching around for a while trying to find the right mix. And somebody had mentioned to me automotive, and I thought, that's perfect because my background's engineering, like being around cars, all that type of thing.
But you're a girl.
I know. But
it doesn't make sense, Danny.
My mind is opening. All right.
But that was the thing. I didn't like any models out there. I was like, there's none of them that I'd want to be able to be passionate about. So I was introduced to the Honest One model, which was actually developed by a woman that had grown up in the automotive industry, a transmission rebuilding franchise. And she put together the model, and I was like, my gosh, if I was going to do this is exactly how I'd want it. I want it clean. I want it where they are focused on communication. They're going to take you out to the vehicle. They're going to explain it to you. It's not where it's just, you need this.
Yeah, right.
Right. So if you need something done, you let your customers look underneath the hood with you and say, this needs to be replaced, and that hose you can see is cracking.
Yeah. Well, I like to do that a lot of times, even if they come in and they have basically a brand new car and we're just doing an oil change, I still take them out and we kind of walk through it because a lot lot of people
don't know how cars work.
Yeah, they haven't been underneath it. And yeah, I know this part's a little weird, Dan, but it's fun. It's really kind of cool when you get underneath and you're like, look, here's this and that, and it takes away all that. Not all of it, but it takes away a lot of because otherwise the techs will go up to a customer and they start talking with all their tech language.
Yeah.
And you can just see that customers are like, I have no clue what you're talking about.
When they tell me they have to lube the chassis, I'm like, I really don't know where you're going with this, sir.
Is that a metaphor?
I don't like it.
Is that now? See,
2 above and 1 under. Excuse me.
It's interesting because that's what my driver tells me about his interactions with the Mercedes service representative people. I'm removed from that conversation, but it's interesting to hear that.
Well, women,
we always think
we're getting ripped off because men always every mechanic I know, and I have one now that I trust and I love. That's right by my house. But it took me a long time to find one. It's like finding a partner.
Yeah,
you need to really investigate because they do rip women off, and we're the ones who drive our cars in to get fixed.
Well, there's a couple things there because what I found when I started doing investigation and background work for this, I went and spent time at Honest One locations. I was like, okay, now that I'm going to learn all the secrets on how they rip us off, and there aren't any. I mean, they're not to say that there aren't bad players in the industry, but they really are. Your tie rod, it's giving you an issue, and it could cause a problem down the road.
Your what?
Tie rod.
Tie rod.
Oh,
yeah.
Terms.
Take you out and show you. Have one of the techs show you.
Yeah.
But what I believe has been a problem with this industry is you have techs that love working on cars, but don't really like explaining it, especially to people who don't necessarily understand what they're talking about.
They're not going to like me then.
Well,
so that
yeah.
It is you notice this as soon as you walk in how clean the establishment is. It smells like potpourri. You've got scones and offerings here.
But you have a little kids section. I mean, because that's important.
Yeah.
My only criticism, I don't know if you saw this outside. There's this junk minivan with an Iowa sticker on it that's kind of polluting the front area of your business.
I know.
You really should probably have that towed away.
And that I think they are coming to tow it.
Yeah.
That's my ride. Leave my ride. No, but it's so when you can you compare your prices to other mechanics in the area? You guys are competitive, maybe a little bit less?
No, I would say, well, we're definitely a dealership alternative. So we work on every type of vehicle. And we do everything except body work. So whether it's with your brakes, whether it's with the engine, you name it, just as long as it's not a quarter panel that needs to be removed. Our prices are very competitive, but we're not here to be the low ball player. What we want to do is have quality work. So anything that you have done here is backed with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty.
Wow, that's nice.
Nationwide. So let's say you decide to move to Tennessee. Can't
Right.
imagine anybody doing that, leaving Illinois.
Of course not.
But the good news is that if you move, that warranty goes with that service. There's 30,000 some locations across the country that will honor that warranty. So,
so
so that carries with you.
You sell on quality.
And, exactly.
How many people do you employ here?
We have 11 people on payroll. So not everybody's necessarily in the building. Some of the people are kind of out and about doing different marketing type things. But from a technical standpoint, we have about 8-9 techs. and service advisors.
What give us a little bit more on your background, though, too. You mentioned your background in electrical engineering, but I mean your time in the corporate world before you transitioned to this entrepreneurial venture.
Yeah, I was in the corporate world, General Motors, Molex, which is a company that's well known in this area, ITW.
Yeah.
And
Great
really
companies.
wanted to, very good companies, but wanted to be more involved in the community and wanted to just be able to try things that in the corporate environment, there's a lot of risk aversion. And, it was more, to me, it's like, well, let's just try some different things. And so that's what this business allows me to do, is to really kind of get out and, try things that are a little bit different. And I have to tell you, the number of people that have told me for the past 4 years, why are you doing this? Female in this type of business, and what's this all about? And it's, there's an opportunity, and we want to be able to provide that type of experience for the customer so that, you walk away and you're like, okay, I had to get my car fixed, but I'm very confident in the service, and any questions, anything like that, I'll give them a call. One thing that we've noticed, or that I've noticed, is a lot of times I'll pull up customers' names, and they have 4, 5, 6 cars in their fleet. So these, no longer is it the family car, it's a family fleet.
Oh, because your oldest son will have a car, or your daughter.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I own a shop and I have trouble making sure my oil's been changed.
Right.
So now you have 5 or 6 cars. How are you keeping track of that?
So real quick, how important is it to have your oil changed every 3,000 miles?
It is. You do not. That is the number one thing to be done. That is
right.
the number
and I'm very
one
vigilant.
thing.
I mean, I do it. I'm
perfect.
But
perfect.
Why is it so important?
Because that is what is going to keep the engine lubricated. It is what makes a difference in the temperature, the long-term damage that you do to internal components. You want to make sure that you're always, as the engine is going through the engine over the miles, the oil starts to oxidize. You lose some of your additives. They burn out. So it starts getting more and more detrimental.
Got that, Dan?
You lost Amy with the chemistry, but that's okay. So do you think this so this is a franchise model?
Yes.
Do you think this is kind of the franchise of the future for the auto industry? I mean, I know this is the first one in Illinois, but another one is coming online, and ostensibly they're rolling out franchises across the nation.
Yeah, so this is is actually a very quickly growing franchise because the model is what people want, and the model is there's a lot of husband and wife teams that have these franchises, but there's also a lot of women only owned in the Honest One family.
Because it really sort of, I mean, it's not limited, of course, but the market niche or the angle of incidence really is for the female customer.
Yeah, so what I like is that it was people stepping back and saying, okay, these are the things that aren't right with the industry, and how do we want to make it right for the customer? And that's all of the communication, the transparency, all of those type of things. And then people that are drawn to wanting to make a change then are opening up these franchises. So these are people that are not necessarily, I mean, I'm not working on cars.
No,
you
but
never
you know
get
about
it back
because you're.
I know, but nothing like a tech. Nothing like a tech.
Yeah.
How was it? Because I had to have that difficult conversation with my mechanic when it was time to get rid of the Nissan Murano, where they just say, you know what, Amy, we're calling this. I'm like, no, just 10,000 more miles, please. Do you ever have that difficult conversation? Because people become very attached to their cars.
Yeah.
Because they spend more time in their vehicles sometimes than they do in their bed or at their house.
To the detriment of their safety, like Amy and that jalopy she rides around.
That's a used minivan. I had to turn in my Nissan. But have you ever had that conversation?
Oh,
Where
yeah. Oh, my gosh,
The
yes.
repair work is going to be more than the car is worth.
Yeah, we have that a lot. And we'll just walk through it with the people.
Yeah.
And it
Do they
depends.
cry?
We've never had anybody cry. But they realize it. They
the day is young. She's still here for another hour.
Yeah. If you would like, we would do an inspection on your vehicle.
I'm fine.
Oh.
Oh, no.
No, but everybody else on the road would like you to do that.
Yeah, I bet. Well, absolutely. One thing I did want to also mention is that we are offering a family fleet car care package. So this is for those families that have the 5 or 6 vehicles. And it's a headache. How do you know if the kids are changing the oil? And that's probably one of the other things that's really hit me is how many cars come in because the kids didn't know. You can't drive on a flat tire. There is oil in the engine. It does matter. So the family fleet, it's and on average, households have about 3 cars per household. 35% of the families have about 3 cars. So it's like a $1,500 package that we're offering for a price of $897. And that way now there's no time limit on how long you have to use those services. And you sign that up, register your cars, and now the kids are able to just come in, the parents come in. You'll have a whole set of the most important 8 services that you need to be able to keep your cars running.
All right.
So that's something we're offering now.
All right, you hear that, guys? We're out of the automotive business now, too. It's all over for us.
Thank goodness.
It's ladies' world.
Hey, but notice all our texts and yep. We haven't knocked you out yet.
No, I'm kidding. Karen Conway, owner of Honest One Auto Care here in Aurora, right on Yola Road, right off the expressway, easy access here. Karen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Love the business. Good luck with the business, and appreciate you hosting us this morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Now, this wheel balancing is free, right?
Oh, you betcha. Absolutely. Wait a minute. These tires won't take a balance.
They won't?
No. You hear that clunk?
No.
Yeah, that tells me you need 4 new tires.
Really?
Yeah. Legally, I can't even let you drive out of here on these.
Oh, please, can't you let me slide this time?
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You can handle the truth. Here it is. Bruce Rauner betrayed our party and won't change. From income tax hikes and property tax spikes to sanctuary state and Chicago bailouts, Rauner's term has been a disaster. We make a change now, or you put Illinois in your rearview mirror. From the farm to West Point to the State House, I've proven I'm the real deal. Don't be afraid to make a change. If you want a conservative governor, vote for her. I'm Jeannie Ives. I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois.
Want to refresh your wardrobe and home? Get to Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and take an extra 20% off with promo code FRIEND. With an extra 20% off, LC Lauren Conrad floral tops are just $23.99. Jumping Beans tees are only $6.40. And a KitchenAid Artisan stand mixer is $299.99. And you'll get $60 Kohl's Cash. A spring refresh for the family, Kohl's Cash for you. Right now at Kohl's. Select styles. Offers valid March 14th through 18th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Ever hire a plumber at an odd time for an emergency? The hourly rate could send you into cardiac arrest. It'd be nice to have someone on call 24/7 for those once every few year emergencies, but probably not necessary. Now, your business is IT? That's a completely different story. The potential for problems if your IT system isn't properly maintained could be more than those once every few year plumbing backups. For peace of mind, turn to Turnkey IT. Their monthly support contracts will keep your business's computer systems online and running well. No more waiting for an hourly IT tech to get back to you and charging you an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey will keep your business's computer system online with unlimited on-site and remote support. And for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Get the secure feeling your business backbone is supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Gentlemen, when it comes to good health and quality of life, there are numbers every man needs to know, including our testosterone number. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested recently. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site laboratory, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, cause lack of motivation and drive. It can even raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. If you've been experiencing any of these symptoms, it's time to get your levels checked. At Low T Center, they accept most health insurance and will verify it for you. Low T Center's physicians specialize in treating low testosterone levels in men. They know men's health and are reinventing men's health care. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 or go to lowtcenter.com for more information. That's lowtcenter.com.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I wanted to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
When it comes to your home, nothing's more important than your roof. Everything underneath depends on it, right? Even if it's not leaking yet, you know it's important to be proactive and repair or replace it before you have a problem. And in Chicagoland, the decision to call Best Deal Inc. first is a no-brainer. For nearly 2 decades, Best Deal has delivered great service and beautiful roofs, as well as the best deal. By dealing directly with owners Greg and Dan, you'll get the absolute best deal anywhere because Best Deal maintains zero stock or warehousing, so there's no overhead to pass on to you. Best Deal uses the highest quality materials and latest, highest tech equipment, and their skilled tradesmen will complete your job on time and to your satisfaction. So if a new or repaired roof is on your list this spring, don't hesitate to get the best roof deal. Call licensed, bonded, and insured Best Deal today for your free estimate at 877-77-BEST-D or visit bestroofdeal.com. That's 877-77-BEST-D or online at bestroofdeal.com.
Did you know you could be paying up to 80% less for your family's medications? How? With GoodRx. GoodRx compares prices of every FDA-approved drug at pharmacies in your area and offers free downloadable coupons at GoodRx.com, so you get the best deals on all your medications. You'd be surprised at how much the prices can differ, even at pharmacies on the same block. Last year, GoodRx saved Americans over $2 billion on their medications. Just text GoodRx to 99,000 to learn how to start saving money today. Imagine paying even less than your insurance copay. GoodRx can sometimes find you medications for free. There are never any fees and no personal information is ever required. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions and save up to 80% instantly by texting the word GoodRx to 99,000. That's GoodRx to 99,000. Save today. Text GOODRX to 99000.
Message and data rates may apply. You will receive up to 4 automated text messages per month from GoodRx.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO. and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Roxanne gone.
Yeah, via President Trump's Twitter, Mike Pompeo, director of the CIA, will now become the new Secretary of State. So we'll begin there at 8:08, but I'm sure Mike Scott will have the latest for us now as we join him in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following right now. A high school soccer coach accused of sex acts with students is fired. State police continue investigating a deadly police shooting along I-90. Mayor Emanuel is now scheduled to testify in the police shooting lawsuits on March 29th. The Bears expect to sign free agent wideout Allen Robinson. Notre Dame and DePaul dancing in the women's NCAA tournament. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Rex Tillerson is out as Secretary of State. I'm Dave Anthony, and how do we know this? President Trump just tweeted it. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president confirming the news of Tillerson's ouster on Twitter, writing, Mike Pompeo, director of the CIA, will become our new Secretary of State. He will do a fantastic job. Thank you to Rex Tillerson for his service. Gina Haspel will become the new director of the CIA and the first woman so chosen. Congratulations to all. The president and Tillerson have not seen eye to eye on a number of issues, including trade and the approach for dealing with North Korea. Tillerson, who formerly served as chairman and CEO of ExxonMobil, served 13 months as Secretary of State. Dave?
Now, John, both Pompeo and Haspel would have to be nominated and confirmed by the Senate to take those jobs. The House Intelligence Committee's done with its Russia probe.
We spent 14 months on this investigation looking for collusion. We didn't find any.
Devin Nunes, the Republican chairman, will send a report today to Democrats, led on the committee by Adam Schiff, who thinks ending the probe is premature. He calls it a tragic milestone. Dying to check out the prototypes for his much-promised border wall, President Trump will soon fly to California for the first time since taking office. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live in San Diego.
Immigrants and their advocates here in San Diego, Dave, spent part of Monday protesting the president's visit, including San Diego Democratic Congressman Juan Vargas.
What does this president do? He builds his campaigns and he builds his presidency on racism.
A group called San Diegans for Secure Borders is protesting in support of the president and a wall near the 8 prototypes before the president lands. They argue the fencing installed back in the 90s helped stop illegal crossings, but those who oppose it say it just forces people into more dangerous territory and leads to deaths in the desert, Dave.
And the president will also hold a fundraiser in L.A. and meet with some American troops. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
32 degrees. Skies are cloudy. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Vernon Hills High School soccer coach is out of a job following allegations of engaging in sex acts with several students. High School District 128 Board voted last night to approve the firing of Corey Beard. The 28-year-old woman was charged with 12 counts of criminal sexual assault. Police fear there could be more victims. A 4-time felon is pleading not guilty to a 56-count indictment, charging him with the killing of Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer. Shamari Leggett entered that plea yesterday at the Cook County Criminal Courts building. He's accused of shooting the 31-year veteran in a stairwell outside of the Thompson Center. Leggett is being held without bail at the Kankakee County Jail. Also in that case, don't expect to hear a whole lot more about the murder of that Chicago police commander. The judge in that case yesterday ordering lawyers for both sides not to share any evidence in the case with reporters. Illinois State Police continuing their investigation of the shooting of an Elgin woman by a veteran Elgin police officer during a traffic stop yesterday. AM 560's David Stewart has details for us.
The officers involved in the stop of DeCynthia Clemens were wearing body cameras, but the video of the incident hasn't been made public. Officers say that she refused to get out of her SUV when she was pulled over on I-90 after an earlier encounter with police. She then reportedly pulled a knife at some point during the hour-long negotiation that followed. Police then reportedly noticed the interior of the SUV was on fire, and as they pulled her out, she was shot and died later at a hospital. The officer involved is a lieutenant with 19 years on the force. He's on paid leave. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports. Bears get some wide receiver help, apparently, through the free agent ranks. about to sign former Jaguars wide receiver Allen Robinson. Lady Blue Demons of DePaul will start playing the NCAA basketball tournament Friday, facing the 12th-seeded Oklahoma Sooners. By the way, that is 16 years in a row the DePaul women are playing in the NCAA women's basketball tournament, and they are on a collision course with Notre Dame in the Sweet 16. The news service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only. Ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the White House has blocked Broadcom's hostile merger with Qualcomm, citing concerns about national security. President Trump issued the order. Broadcom is based in Singapore and plans to relocate in the U.S. The U.S. panel that reviews foreign purchases of American companies says the merger could weaken Qualcomm and the U.S. tech industry's development of the 5G wireless network. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Intel is hoping Broadcom's merger fails so Intel can buy Broadcom. All three companies make chips. More than 1,000 Amazon workers in Spain are planning to strike tomorrow and Thursday. The unions representing the workers claim Amazon is planning to block raises and reduce employees' rights. The Dow dropped 157 points yesterday, but the Nasdaq was up 27. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity is over the hypocrisy from Hollywood.
I see the Oscars, Jimmy Kimmel down 16%. All this, Me Too, Time's Up. I've never seen such hypocrisy in my entire lifetime. And the people of this country, they get it. Hollywood doesn't get it. People get it, and they're tired of the hypocrisy. I have never been to one of these events, and I can't be more proud of myself for having never gone.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Let's see here. Fire protection?
Check.
Uniforms, mats, and restroom products?
Check.
First aid cabinets and safety products?
Check.
Great! So it sounds like we're ready to go.
No. When I said check, I meant we still need to check on all those things.
Just call Cintas. They can handle all of it. It's what they do.
Okay. Call Cintas. Check. Got it.
Oh, I'm ready! Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're not seeing a lot of improvement in northwest Indiana. The black ice has made it a wretched commute. Traffic scrolls very slowly in both directions on I-65, 8094 and US 30. Eastbound 8094 is a mess from Burr to before 65. A multi-vehicle wreck has two left lanes blocked. Edens is 21 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 33. Kennedy, inbound delay started Foster. It's an hour and 12 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 52 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 37 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 22 minutes, 390 to downtown. An hour and 4 minutes from Manhunt. Outbound 49 minutes, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Lakeshore Drive southbound heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays are from 87th to 75th, from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Reagan Toll to North Avenue. Reagan Toll is slow now, 31 to Gackley. Veterans Memorial from Boughton most of the way to St. Charles and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. A flurry for the morning, then a snow shower for the afternoon. High today, 36. Turning out to be a mainly clear and cold night tonight with a low of 22. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare, 32 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
And Amy, your reaction to the announcement that Rex Tillerson is going to be replaced as President Trump's Secretary of State, apparently, according to Trump in a tweet. Mike Pompeo, the CIA director, will move over to be Secretary of State, and Gina Haspel
Oh, looky what we have here.
will be the new director of the CIA, the first woman to head the CIA. You know,
Women are taking over the automotive
I know.
industry, the repair industry, and now we're taking over the CIA.
Next thing you know, Gina Haspel's going to open an Honest One Auto Care franchise, which is, by the way, where we're broadcasting live this morning here in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank business tour. Text from 847, this is not a good sign. Tillerson, along with General Kelly, was one of the few adults in the room. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, hasn't
Is
there been...
847 right about this not being a good sign? Tillerson was an adult in the room. We shouldn't be happy to see Rex on go.
Well, I thought that, there's always been some friction between the two, between
sure.
President Trump. I think what put the nail in the coffin was President Trump accepting that meeting with Kim Jong-un. Because Rex Tillerson was quick to say that the State Department did not see this coming, and they did not know. President Trump didn't consult his Secretary of State to see if that would be a good idea to have a meeting face-to-face.
Well, there have been little contretemps between the two or involving one vis-a-vis something the other said. Tillerson, of course, once reportedly accusing Trump of being an idiot and then having to kind of deny that, dance around it. But there are a lot of substantive disagreements on policy between the two. Approach to North Korea, Trump preferring to be more bellicose, Tillerson preferring back channels. Iran nuclear deal, Trump much more aggressive, at least rhetorically, about rescinding that deal. Tillerson wanting to, make it work. Also, the Paris Climate Accord.
Oh, that's right.
That was another area. Afghan war strategy. There were a number of major areas of foreign policy where Tillerson and Trump were not on the same page. And so, at some point, I guess it reaches critical mass and you say, well, we just have different visions of America's geopolitical place in the world. And if you're going to, resist my vision, then I'm going to get somebody who's going to comport with it. I mean, that ultimately, it seems to me, is a part of this conversation.
And how do you feel about his replacement?
Well, Pompeo. I mean, Pompeo, by all accounts, has afforded himself well at CIA. He was a respected member of Congress. He's got a military background. So, and he seems to have a stronger relationship with Trump. He seemed to have that from the beginning, and he's also seemed to have Trump's back more often. And so that's something that's probably more attractive to Trump as well.
What do you think Tillerson's going to do now? Wait, spend more time with his family?
Could. Well, he may. If his family wants to spend more time with him, which is always the question that's never asked, and it should be. So that's a big part of it. It goes both ways. Patrick in Glenview, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning.
Morning.
There's been rumors of Tillerson on his way out back in October. This is no new story in Washington. He did not see eye to eye. Yeah, but this has been around Washington. He hadn't seen eye to eye with the Israeli moving their capital. He wasn't seeing eye to eye with Iran. He wasn't seeing eye to eye with Korea. And, he thought he'd get in and run the State Department without agreeing with the president. And that doesn't work that way. You could do that as Attorney General, and sometimes it's good to distance yourself. But as Secretary of State, you have to see eye to eye with your boss. And with the Korean negotiations coming up, it's good to get new blood.
Yeah, I think that's a fair review. Thanks for the call, Patrick. And the other thing too, Tillerson, Rexon may have to go back to Exxon to help Exxon stave off Arnold Schwarzenegger's first-degree murder lawsuit against Big Oil. So Exxon probably needs the reinforcements. Right. They need Rexon back at Exxon. All right, Margot and Burr Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think Tillerson has served his purpose because Russia's bulwark of economic activity is its gas and oil business, and Tillerson knows that better than anyone else. And now that Russia, basically we've got we're exploring, we're developing our own energy sources. Basically, Russia has been reduced to poisoning people overseas. They're not taking over any more countries. They're contained, and he did that because he knew that country better than anyone else. But they're done with him now. They've got to move on to China and Iran and North Korea, and that's just not his area of expertise, as Russia was.
Thanks for the call, Margot. And it's funny, too, because the criticism of Rexon during the confirmation hearings after he was announced as the nominee was what? Oh, he's got this relationship with Putin. Oh, as CEO of Exxon, he accepted some honorific from Putin, and so he's part of the Russian collusion hysteria, and he could be another one of the agents inside our perimeter, the Putin agents inside our perimeter, inside the Trump camp. And then it'll be interesting to see what they have to say with him now that you've had a year plus of Rexon as Secretary of State. Now, all of these policy disagreements, strategic disagreements we're discussing, and now he's out.
And the Washington Post is reporting that President Trump last Friday asked Tillerson to step aside, and he wouldn't still, and now we're finding out that he was fired.
Yeah, when the president asks you to step aside.
And they asked him to cut his short trip to Africa to return to Washington.
Well, he got sick in Africa.
Well, so you think.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he was poisoned.
Yeah, okay. But if that's true, if that account is true, I'd like you to submit your resignation. No. Okay, well, then I'll fire you because that's how this is going to work.
So then he can collect unemployment,
Yeah, well, exactly.
And keep his pension.
And Trump also said, and I will write you a nice reference letter.
Right, there you go.
James in Westmont, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, morning, guys. I'm actually in the building staring at you. Is that okay?
The building. That's how most of our callers are.
So you're in the building, James?
James, the call is coming from inside the building. Yeah.
It's coming from inside the building.
James came to visit us at Honest One Auto Care here in Aurora.
But James calls in often. So how do you feel about this, James?
I think Rexon should go back to Exxon. And I think the woman who's going to be charged of the CIA should make them snazzy uniforms as well.
Does it make them snazzier uniforms? Yeah,
yes.
It's a good comment. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. Sean in Elmwood Park.
I never liked Tillerson, so I'm glad to see him gone.
Yeah,
he was nothing
like
but
anybody,
a payoff.
He likes Frederick.
I don't like anybody.
He doesn't like
anybody. And I'll tell you
living.
another thing.
He doesn't.
More people should not like anybody because what I'm going to enjoy over the next 5 days is all of these morons with their Caddyshack hat who were telling me how great he is. He's great. Now he's a scumbag. Watch. On just the word of Trump, everything is controlled. The whole opinion is controlled. But Pompeo will fit nicely. Not just because he's a derriere barnacle who's a step and fetch to Trump and will do whatever he says, but he's all in on this welfare warfare economy. And that's what Trump's getting out of the way. He doesn't want resistance to the welfare warfare economic Trumponomics. That's what he's clearing the field for.
Well,
and not only that, he probably didn't like Tillerson bumping his way up at the White House breakfast buffet. Two fatties fighting for the last egg. It's despicable. The whole thing. Fire everybody. And then we elect everybody. No more you appoint them, you're out.
Sean, are you having a mental break? Thank you for the call.
Mental breakdown?
No, I think something happened to Sean in the midst of that call. So Mike Pompeo, by the way, I'd like to see Sean pass the physical requirements of basic training. Mike Pompeo, West Point, Harvard Law, conservative, free market congressman from Kansas before being leveled up to CIA and now to Secretary of State. So this is not a guy with some without some ability and smarts and skill sets that he brings to the table. So perhaps a little unfair to marginalize him that quickly. Do you think? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's Sean. He's got some issues to work through. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy, when Mike Pompeo was in Congress, he was also a member of the Italian-American Congressional Delegation.
Hey! I like them. I love Italians. I don't know if you're going to love this forecast. It's cold out there. There is sunshine right now. There is some lake effect snow if you live in northwest Indiana. A high of 36 degrees tonight. Ouch, a low of just 22 degrees. And tomorrow, partly sunny. A little bit better, a high of 44. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Amy and Dan. Good morning. It's getting a little better on eastbound 8094, northwest Indiana. We still have stop-and-go traffic from Burr to before I-65 after an earlier crash. I-65 still brutal. Black ice has made it just really a parking lot in both directions, at least in terms of the speed. And in some places, in terms of the congestion, it's just very slow going due to the slick conditions. Kennedy inbound, jammed. Foster to the Burn Circle, an hour and 6 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose, 42 in the Express. Outbound 37 minutes to the airport. Edens, 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 29. The Ike, an hour and 20 minutes, 390 to downtown, an hour and 2 minutes from Manheim, outbound 44 minutes, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Lincoln Oasis, Thornton Quarry, crash on the right side. Then 87th to 75th, the Stevenson to 47th, the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial heavy. Fountain most of the way to St. Charles and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week featuring filmmaker Eli Steele in his film, How Jack Became Black, howjackbecameblack.com. You should see that film, and you should tune in for our conversation about that film as well as race, identity, politics more generally. It's good talk. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from yours truly. 2-minute warnings. Pat Hughes at the Illinois Opportunity Project. Heart of the Matter. That's our series featuring women, professional women, speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And Man on the Street interviews in our Follow the Logic segments. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, free property tax report on your home, as well as updated home sale data in your region. All of the property tax and home sale info at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you still haven't purchased the very best pillow, of course I'm talking about MyPillow, the 4-pack deal is back. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal. A great night's sleep is so important, so give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep by ordering a MyPillow. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. The MyPillow 4-pack deal includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need, regardless if I sleep on my back or side. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And MyPillow is made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
You can handle the truth. Here it is. Bruce Rauner betrayed our party and won't change. From income tax hikes and property tax spikes to sanctuary state and Chicago bailouts, Rauner's term has been a disaster. We make a change now, or you put Illinois in your rearview mirror. From the farm to West Point to the State House, I've proven I'm the real deal. Don't be afraid to make a change. If you want a conservative governor, vote for her. I'm Jeannie Ives. I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in. Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Picture your son in 10 years. What kind of man do you hope to see? I know you want your son to be a man of character. It's Dan Proft, and I urge you to consider Northridge Prep, ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois for 2 years running, and a top 100 high school in America from U.S. News. Don't miss their open house on March 25th. Northridge Prep is an independent Catholic school for boys in grades 6 through 12 located in Niles. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. They instill the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm and energy. It's a good place to be a boy. Every teacher is a great role model who gets to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, and have top athletics and arts programs. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on March 25th. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and we're coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And Amy, another potential challenger to Tiny Dancer. This is kind of interesting.
Uh-oh. Oh, Troy LaRaviere?
No, I said it was interesting. It's a young tech entrepreneur named Neil Sales Griffin, who has filed paperwork to form a fundraising committee. He's 30 years old, easy for me to say. And he describes himself as, I'm not a politician, I'm just somebody who gives a shh.
That's his...
That's what he said.
What's his name again? Neil
Sales Griffin. Neil Sales Griffin. Got 3 names, so that'll help separate him on the ballot. And if he's smart, he would change his name to Neil Sales McGriffin. But anyway, Neil Sales Griffin.
Like others have.
He started a company and sold it, and he formed this nonprofit called Code Now, a nonprofit group that helps teach coding to school children. You know, he's a tech whiz, this guy. Unfortunately, he's a Democrat. He said he's motivated to run in large part because he sees so many members of his family and others leaving Chicago for the suburbs and other states. People are moving away, and people who are stuck here are dealing with things they shouldn't have to deal with. He said, my Thanksgiving table is shrinking, and that's not okay. All right. He helped Bernie Sanders in Iowa in 2016, big fan of Obama. He was also on board with the new left-leaning news organization started by...
Amaya Pawar.
Yeah. Amaya Pawar. Your favorite moments from Amaya Poir's gubernatorial campaign, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Take those. Spoke at the campaign kickoff for Democrat gubernatorial hopeful Spalding, and he said, it's hard to fit me in a box. I don't know. We'll see where I stand. That's the kind of vision that really inspires the masses. We're going to find out where I stand. Hey, it'll be an adventure for all of us. We've never gone through that before. He's multiracial, African American and Filipino.
I'm looking at a picture of him right now. So he's African American, Filipino.
30 years old.
Okay.
I mean, he couldn't do any worse, I guess.
He's about Mayor Emanuel's height.
Maybe that's actually his campaign slogan. I couldn't do any worse.
No, his campaign slogan is "Who gives a."
No, who gives a blank? I give a blank. Get it in there twice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's for branding. Gary in Barrington, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you guys doing? I just wanted to make a comment on Rex Tillerson. When you are in a subordinate role to a president, be it company or national or whatever, it's okay to disagree with him behind closed doors. But when the doors open, you have to toe the company line.
Yeah,
and that's what Tillerson did not do.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the call, Gary. Yeah, that's right. And that's what everybody does in Chicago, is toes the company line in public.
And behind closed doors.
And behind closed doors, and then they just grumble about it in their safe spaces. I want good government, but I'm going to continue with the same government. Well, we'll see. Maybe this Seals Griffin kid shake things up in 19.
Sure he will.
Well, he could raise the money if he gets some of his successful tech friends involved.
Yeah.
And that'd be fun. It's better than these stale candidates that are pretenders to the throne at present. All right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Grover Norquist about tariffs at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Clouds, 30 degrees, winds northwest at 7. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is leaving the Trump administration. The president confirming his departure this morning and tweeting he would nominate CIA Director Mike Pompeo to replace Tillerson. As Pompeo moves from CIA to state, Deputy CIA Director Gina Haspel is the president's choice to run the spy agency. She would be the first woman to act as CIA director. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is offering a $15,000 reward following a series of package bomb attacks in Austin, Texas. Abbott says law enforcement is doing all it can to find whoever is behind the bombings. Austin Police Chief Brian Manley concurs, saying no motive's been figured out, but everything is on the table.
We are not ruling anything out at this point, because when you rule something out, you limit your focus of the investigation and you might miss something.
2 are dead, 2 others seriously hurt in the attacks. Third major storm in 2 weeks bearing down on the East Coast. New England's nor'easter number 3 could dump 2 feet of snow in spots. America's small business owners are more optimistic than they've been in more than 30 years. This morning's Small Business Optimism Index shows the indicator hit its second highest level ever in the last 30 days. Charges pending after a CTA bus was struck by a vehicle on Chicago's far south side. Investigators believe the person driving that vehicle that struck the bus may have been drunk at the time of the crash. A 4-time felon is pleading not guilty to a 56-count indictment charging him with the killing of Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer. Shamari Leggett is being held without bail at the Kankakee County Jail. Chicago sports, Bears may get some free agent help at wide receiver, as Allen Robinson says he plans to sign with the Bears when the new league season opens tomorrow. Cubs had yesterday off. White Sox beat the Mariners in spring ball 4-2, and the Bulls welcome the Clippers tonight. The news service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only ends 3/24. Exclusions apply. Staples. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes we're living in crazy times.
Senator Chuck Schumer of New York doesn't like the president's recent judicial appointment because he's white.
Honest to goodness,
we are so crazily down the rabbit hole.
I just hope and pray for my country that we will somehow, someday, come back to some sense of normalcy and reality and common sense.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of FJ Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. FJ Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:35. Check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound is heavy. Elston to Montrose, it's 21 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound 29. Kennedy, an hour and 6 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose. 42 in the Express, outbound 14 minutes to Montrose and 38 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. 390 to downtown, an hour and 2 minutes from Manheim, outbound 44 minutes. 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop 423. Northbound Tri-State delays to Lincoln Oasis to Thornton Quarry after a crash. 87th to 75th. Stevenson to 31st. Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway still heavy, 31 to Yackley. Veterans Memorial from 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Army Trail to 290. 8094 eastbound stop and go Burr to before I-65 where a crash has now cleared. It's still very slow going on 65 in both directions with 8094 and US 30 and the icy roadways. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny, breezy, and colder. Morning flurry. Then snow showers could develop midday into the afternoon, especially heavy in northwest Indiana, high 36. Currently 30 at O'Hare, 31 along the lakefront. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And just talking, we talked earlier and with Nora Rothman about that bizarre Hillary Clinton interview at that India Today conclave where she talked about the only reason somebody voted for Trump and the reason she lost, of course, had nothing to do with her. We know that. But you fit into three categories if you're a Trump voter. You either don't like that black people have rights. You don't like
racist.
that. Yeah. Don't like that women have jobs.
Sexist.
Right. Or you're a woman who was bullied by the men in your life. You're a victim of patriarchy. Those are the only possible buckets of Trump voters.
Well, she took deplorables to a whole new level.
She really did. And it's not only her. April Ryan, a card-carrying member of the D.C. Press Corps.
Oh, yeah.
She was on CNN yesterday. It's just these bizarre statements. They're kind of victimology non sequiturs contained in some description of Trump rally. She's still talking about the Trump rally from Pennsylvania over the weekend
from Saturday night.
And listen to what, because her freedom of the press is under attack and so forth. Listen to this.
This is someone who has the power of life and death in his tongue and in his pen, and also the fact that people will turn on the press in a moment's notice. So this is not shtick. This is real for us. And we are covered by the founding fathers, these white men who covered all of us, not knowing that there would be social media or people like us covering the White House. So this is a dangerous game.
We are covered by these founding fathers, the white men who covered us with. I don't. What, do you understand what she's saying?
I'm lost.
All right. Well, I'm lost by all of this, which is why we have Grover Norquist to help us suss some of it out. Grover Norquist, president of Americans for Tax Reform, joins us now. Grover, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
How important is today's special election in Pennsylvania, where Trump was over the weekend rallying the troops? How important is Trump's very aggressive, some would argue, myself included, protectionist stand on trade for not only just success today, but for holding majorities in Congress in November?
That's a very interesting question. One, we're going to have a very tough set of races for control of the House this November, whether we win in Pennsylvania, the Republicans win the House seat, or lose it. So it doesn't change anything from that perspective. What it does do is, if Republicans win, says, guys, go out and hustle, see it works. If they don't win, guys, go out and hustle more. So it's really the same message either way. I mean, this is a seat that Trump won by 20 points, and on a good day, we're going to win it narrowly. And on a bad day, we lose it. It is a House seat we should not be losing. I've heard the argument that our candidate is not terribly exciting. The other candidate's young and aggressive, and they get a veteran who's a Bolshevik, and then people are supposed to vote for him because he's a veteran. So this is a particularly important race just for the optics of how it looks. Now, the question of what happens with protectionism. The president went up and said, I'm going to put a tax on incoming steel and aluminum in order to make all of our cars more expensive and non-competitive with German and Japanese and Korean and Swedish cars. And so the challenge is that protectionism is a very bad economic policy. It does great damage to every industry that uses steel. And you've seen the numbers, 6 million people work in companies that use in businesses that use a lot of steel, and 100,000 or 200,000 people make steel in the United States.
Yeah, and if we can't outcompete the Swedes producing the Saab, then we're in we're in more trouble than just steel prices.
Yeah. So, but when you raise the price of steel, you make all of your cars less competitive, not non-competitive completely, but less competitive than they were otherwise. So now the other challenge with protectionism is that it is a tool or a weapon that should be a last choice. What did the president do? He cut corporate taxes for every American business, for steel manufacturers, for auto manufacturers, for people who make buildings with steel, for people who make aluminum cans. When you cut taxes across the board, the entire set of industries, the entire country benefits. He has helped by giving us judges that won't let the trial lawyers get away with murder, and good judges with rule of law and property rights and contract law and reasonable labor law is good for all industries. And then he's expanded our opportunities to get more and better and less expensive energy here in the United States. That's good for all industries. It's good for the steel people. It's good for people who use steel. So if you've got tools that can help steel and the auto industry and steel users and people who use aluminum, why not focus on those? Okay, and they're working, by the way. We've cut taxes. The whole economy is growing. Oh, and deregulation, which is so you got deregulation, you got tax cuts, you got serious energy expansion, and you have good judges. Those four things are good for all businesses. Why would you turn around and pick up a stick, which is only good for helping, raising the price of steel manufactured in the United States? So that helps steel manufacturers at the expense of everybody else in the country. Every consumer
Right, because eventually
loses
the consumers are
because
going
you
to have to
buy
pay for it. But Grover,
Yeah,
we're learning
so-
this morning that Larry Kudlow is possibly going to replace Mr. Cohen, Gary Cohen, as an economic council advisor. But he's against the tariffs as well. Do you think he would be able to get into President Trump's head about how bad tariffs are?
I think the president has had the position that tariffs are a tool that can be used, and only poking oneself in the eye with them is going to teach one that it's not a good idea. It is so attractive at one level, well, that solves that problem, right? But then you forget that there's secondary effects. It's not because the other team gets an at-bat. You're not the only team that gets to hit the ball. Then the Europeans turn around and say, oh, did you do this to our steel? Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to raise tariffs on your agriculture, on your citrus. And they're picking things that are in states that are important to Trump. So he's hurting a trade war. The other team decides where to hit you back, and they can do it to be most damaging. So it's a problem. We're just going to have to work through it. Now, to be fair to the president, maybe he's just trying to get the attention of the Chinese and say, guys, we need you to rethink some of your tariff and non-tariff barriers to our stuff. And the Chinese did do this thing where every province out there decided to build a steel mill because, there was the government and the money was free. So they have all this overcapacity. I don't think it's a dirty trick. I think it's a misallocation of resources on their part. They're not making money at this, which is why
Grover, as someone who has watched many presidential administration come and go, one of the stories the D.C. Press Corps is spinning now is a White House and an administration in chaos. You see departures, you see public spats between the president and his attorney general, between the president and his now outgoing Secretary of State. Amy mentioned the pending replacement of Gary Cohen. Is this just the normal turnover in any presidential administration, and we are purposely not using our institutional knowledge, or are you concerned about the pace of turnover in the Trump administration?
It's more than usual, but it's not debilitating or anything. We have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, a Republican administration. That's stability. That's why holding the Senate, we're going to pick up an additional 4, maybe 5 Senate seats this fall, largely because the Democrats decided to attack the Second Amendment and to insult 17 million concealed carry permit holders. I mean, people forget that there's 17 million Americans with a concealed carry permit. You don't have a lot of that in Chicago, but the rest of the country, about 7% of the country has a concealed carry permit, 7% of adults. So when the D's go and attack that, it makes it tough to carry Montana. It takes it tough in Indiana, where 10% of the population has a concealed carry permit. Missouri, North Dakota, West Virginia, Florida. I mean, these are very, very interesting states. But circling back to what we started with, the House races are key. I was talking to McCarthy, the lead Republican, on managing the House races, the Republican leader in the House. And he says, look, if we can break the Democrats this year, if we hold the House, the Ds will never see the House again for a long, long time. And they know that, and we know it. So everybody's out, wearing the uniforms and going to be playing very, very hard. So people need to remember to vote. And the president has accomplished a great deal of what he had hoped to accomplish in a 4-year term. That tax reform and tax cut that the House and Senate passed was not a 20. We didn't cut the business rate to 25. We cut it to 20. That was Trump. Trump was the one who drove that down to 2021, and that makes us so much more competitive than we were before. It is worth. The stock market went up by 1/3. There's a reason for that. There's some real progress there. The deregulation stuff. We have to do entitlement reform, and we probably don't get to do that unless we hold the House and the Senate. Right. And then we need to do for Medicaid and food stamps what we did during the Clinton years on welfare. I would just block grant it out to the states and let the states do some serious fighting against fraud and focusing on people who really need the help rather than who don't. So I think we're in good shape. I think Larry Kudlow would be a wonderful pick, extremely helpful. I thought the world of Gary Cohn. I thought he did a very good job as well.
All right. He is Grover Norquist. He's the president of Americans for Tax Reform. Grover, thanks as always for joining us, providing your insights. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, Trump on his way to Mexico to pick out a wall. Which one would you choose and why? But first, here's your forecast. Clear skies right now, but we can't rule out some lake effect snow, especially in northwest Indiana. It's going to be cool, windy, a high of 36 degrees. Tonight, a low of 22. And for tomorrow, partly sunny skies, a little bit warmer, a high of 44. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Speaking of northwest Indiana, Jim Talamonte, how is I-65?
It's still icy, Amy. Now, things are improving southbound. It's still slow between 80-94 and US 30, but it's not nearly as slow as it was. Speeds are picking up a little bit. But northbound, it's just still really jammed. Traffic is crawling slowly from 30 to 80-94 due to the slick roadways. 80-94 eastbound, still heavy, but improving from Burr to before 65 after a crash. Eden's 20 minutes like Cook to the junction. Outbound 25. Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. Express lanes will save 5 or 6 minutes. Eisenhower's an hour and 15 minutes, 390 to downtown, an hour from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the drive. Rye, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State northbound, it's heavy, 87th to 75th. The Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Toll into North Avenue. But Reagan Tollway slow from the Aurora Toll to Washington, if you're headed that way. Northbound Veterans Memorial, still a bit tight, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Gentlemen, when it comes to good health and quality of life, there are numbers every man needs to know, including our testosterone number. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. It's where I got my levels tested recently. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site laboratory, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, cause lack of motivation and drive, can even raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. If you've been experiencing any of these symptoms, it's time to get your levels checked. At Low T Center, they accept most health insurance and will verify it for you. Low T Center's physicians specialize in treating low testosterone levels in men. They know men's health and are reinventing men's health care. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself to call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me, 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now, or go to lowtcenter.com for more info.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Washington is full of career politicians. It's time we put everyday Americans back in charge of your government. I'm Dr. Suppan Shah. My parents immigrated here with nothing in their pockets. They worked tirelessly to give me the American dream. Now, as a physician and successful entrepreneur, I'm running for Congress to bring real-world experience to Washington. I will heal our broken healthcare system, bring jobs back to the 10th District, and then term limit myself and get out of the way for the next citizen legislator. I knew it would be difficult taking on the entrenched politicians. The insiders have come after me with everything they've got, even lying to scare you from voting for the only outsider and the only candidate born right here in the 10th District. Here's the choice you have: more of the same or a new path. You can vote for politics as usual or for common sense and real-world experience. Republicans, the choice is yours. I'm Dr. Suppan Shah. I approve this message, and I humbly ask for your vote so I can bring common sense back to Washington. Learn more at drshawforcongress.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had this crazy thing happen with my eyesight. I went back to get my contact lenses done, and my optometrist, and I'm 46, he said, "This is really weird, but your eyesight is better." I'm like, I can't believe it, but I think it's these vitamins I'm taking.
I'm a huge believer in the product. I've tried lots of stuff, and this is the only real thing that I've ever, because of all these comparisons with all the other stuff I've had, this is by far the best thing, and consistently.
We're so healthy now on the Balance of Nature. There's no words to say how well it works.
Doing good on it, really. I'm feeling my skin is softer, and I feel good.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Amy Jacobson here, and so many people when I'm out in the community are coming up to me and asking me, hey, does Calitrin really work as a weight loss supplement? And it does, but it's about a 3-month program. You have to be patient and give it time, but it does work. Pounds come off, but it's a lot more with that. Let's go to Elizabeth.
Good morning. Yes, Calitrin helps your body function more efficiently. So you feel good while you're taking it. I mean, you're just revving up your metabolism naturally. So there are no drugs and no stimulants, and that's how you see the inch loss and the pound loss, and you actually feel good while you're doing it because it really is a health supplement that's good for you.
And how can we order Calitrin?
Yes, you can go to toploss.com. That's TOPLOSS.com. And if you have questions, you can chat with us online there, or you can call us toll free at 1-833-TOP-LOSS. And don't forget to use promo code Amy. That's going to save you 10% on your order today.
All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Appreciate it.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. And Amy, do you know a guy in Iowa named Bill Dix? D-I-X.
No, I don't.
Do you know a local watering hole in Des Moines named the Waveland Tap?
No, I'm not familiar with that. I'm more familiar with Iowa City because I worked at Sports Column for 4 years, but yes.
Have you ever, perhaps your time at Sports Column, did you ever make out with a Senate Majority Leader by any chance?
Not that I know of.
Well,
is he a good kisser? What kind of story are you telling
I
me
have
here?
not had the pleasure, but I'll tell you,
Snuggle?
That is what separates you from Bill Dix, who is the former Iowa Senate Majority Leader, resigned from office yesterday, hours after the publication of a video and photograph showing him kissing a female lobbyist in the Des Moines Tavern. That is the Waveland Tap.
Oh.
I mean,
wait. Is he married?
He is married, which is why the kissing of the lobbyist was not received well.
We're just tasting each other, man. What excuse could you? What excuse
who says
could
that?
you?
What just
People say
tasting
that.
each other?
Nobody
says that. Nobody says that. You say that, and that's gross.
Do you have the video? Is it really him?
No, I don't have it personally, but apparently he resigned, so I would take that as an admission of guilt.
Okay.
He didn't pull the R. Kelly defense. That's not me in the picture. That's not me in the video. It wasn't going to fly in Iowa.
All right. Well, thanks so much for making us part of your morning. A big thank you to Honest One Auto Care in Aurora, and thanks to all of our listeners who showed up spontaneously.
Yeah.
We're back in studio tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
Here are the stories that we're following this morning on AM 560 The Answer. A tough morning commute for Northwest Indiana. Jim Talamonte will be along in just a few moments with details on that for you. High school soccer coach accused of sex acts with students is fired from her job. Chicago man gets life for killing a state senator's nephews. The Bears are expected to make a free agent signing today. The Bulls host the Clippers tonight. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.